What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Fish and Grit Sports Live. Today is Tuesday, August 24th, 2021. COVID's running wild again. Here we are. Yay. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about sports. Talk about some Falcons, talk about some Braves, talk about some Hawks. And joined, as always, by my two wonderful co-hosts, Micah Poole, a.k.a. Hulk Hands. How are you doing today, sir?
Hulk smash! I'm good, man.
Marco, you don't look too pleased with that Hulk impersonation.
Oh, my bad. I was doing something.
Literally frowning at it.
I wasn't frowning. That wasn't a frown.
It was like that T-Mobile commercial.
That wasn't a
sure
frown.
I like this.
That wasn't a frown, Mike. I liked your Hulk impression.
Baby.
I loved your Hulk impression.
That's disgusting. Don't ever do that again.
I'm just tying some loose ends up. But no, man, I'm doing great, man. Just dropped a single, Talking Tacos. So if you're out there in the world, go ahead, Spotify me and play some tacos, songs about tacos.
It's actually a really good song. I like it. It gets
Thank you.
It's an earworm. It gets in there and it's hard to get out.
I thought I'd make something wholesome in this time when everybody's so charged up.
I just hope it's not like the Gangnam Style song or one of those kind of songs. It's like, oh my God.
Oh, you're talking about as far as being an earwig?
Yeah, it's like, oh my God.
Well, gee, I hope it turns into a damn gang.
I hope for everything that it turns into that shit.
We can only hope. And then I'll buy us an audience.
Where's that guy that was singing about tacos? I want to see him.
Hey, do the taco song.
Do the taco song real quick. Hey, I came here for tacos.
Stop talking about sports. Boo! Nobody cares about sports.
We want tacos.
Dance, taco boy, dance.
Dance, taco boy.
Oh, man. He might be the next. He won't be Lil Nas X. Can't be quite that, but
Oh yeah, I mean, I can do some strange things for some tacos, man.
I'll do something strange for a little change.
Have y'all had the birrias over there from over off Buford Highway? There's a place called Salsa Taquiera.
I'm into that one.
Try it.
Where on Buford Highway? Like inside the perimeter or out?
Inside.
I was about to say that's a long stretch of area that could be.
I mean, it's called Salsa Taquiera. It's right before, when you're driving down Buford Highway, right before you hit the Kroger on Claremont. It's in the Shell gas station on the right.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I've seen that. Because I used to go that way to work sometimes to cut through and get around 285. Yeah.
Got a 4.8
traffic
rating.
is real bad.
Yeah, 4.8 rating.
I'll have to check that out. I love
Fantastic. Tacos. Yeah, you and Nikki will love it. Love it.
Love it. So you hear those thundering herds of men and the clashing of pads.
Blue 32, hot.
It's time for the Grit Splits. Hey, by the way, I almost won season tickets to the Falcons today.
Almost.
I was the 8th caller instead of the 9th.
Oh, yeah.
He picks up the phone. He goes, 8th caller. I was like, oh! Like I could have been me. But I can say that I probably wouldn't have gotten them because those tickets that I won to that concert that I didn't want to go to anyway, the Brad Paisley concert, still haven't gotten them, and the concert's in like 2 days.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to go down to the radio station to pick them up?
No, they said they would send them to me, and because they're barely in the radio station now.
Yeah,
there's only like a few people.
Oh.
And now with Delta breaking out again, I don't think Andy's back in there. Anyway, let's talk about some football. Let's talk about some real football. Well, we won't get into real football quite yet. But breaking news. Breaking. So I know a lot of people in Cincinnati were real hyped up this offseason because like, you know what? We got our quarterback last year. He's the real deal. He did get hurt, but we got the real deal, and we got a high pick, number 5 overall this year. let's go get ourselves a bona fide weapon for our quarterback, one that he has a lot of chemistry with and was arguably the best college football player in the nation year before last when they won the national championship with LSU, and that's Jamar Chase. They went out and drafted Jamar Chase, number 5 overall. And the man's run amok a bit, gentlemen. He's kind of got himself into a little trouble here. I hate to say it in situations like this. Typically, where there's smoke, there's fire. Occasionally, some of these things are completely fabricated, but most of the time, they've had some type of interaction with this person. They've interacted with them in some way, and they've probably done them dirty in somewhere on the spectrum in some way for that to elicit these type of responses. Now, there are some people that will attack fame, but that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to judge guilt or innocence. We're just here to report on it because in this country, you are still innocent until proven guilty, despite what the public may do to you. He has been accused of domestic violence by what and I'm not the one calling her this, is how that article was reported to me across the internet by Instagram model. It's Amber Nicole. That's ITSAMBARNICOLE.
Let me look her up.
They have a history with one another. They've been seen around with each other, and it's kind of well known that they were quote unquote messing with one another. About a week ago, she had actually come out and tried to air him out on Twitter. She said some things about him and exposed some text messages about him that were a little alarming. I'll start with those before we get into this week. But she posted last week at Jamar Chase, trash as fuck. Will fuck anything walking. Don't even wash his ass. This whole man's life is cap as fuck. Don't believe in the hype. This man is really dirty in real life.
Wait, didn't he allegedly fuck her though? Is that right?
Not allegedly? I think hit by own admission.
But that's like, why would she be like, oh, he'll fuck anything walking when he fucks her?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, she probably holds herself in higher regard than some of the women that she's caught him with. Maybe that's probably why she said that. Exactly.
Okay.
But
she was hurt. She wasn't thinking.
Yeah, she was hurt. She then posted a screenshot of a text conversation where she told Chase she was pregnant, and he replied for her to go take the Plan B pill. Haha, ain't my baby. You doing too much. LOL, you blocked. Was his response to that.
How old is Chase? He's 21?
Probably 20, 21. No older than that.
Sounds like something a 20, 21-year-old would say.
A 20-year-old millionaire?
Ha, ain't my baby. Like, come on, man. Like, Jesus Christ.
A little insensitive, especially if that is your child. This is on the internet now. Guess who's going to be on the internet one day?
I'm not mad at him telling someone to take a Plan B pill, but don't go ha.
Well, if she's pregnant, it's a little too late for that, man.
Yeah,
Plan B,
it's a little too late.
I was about to say, like, that's a little late in the process for a Plan B, bro.
Right.
After you shoot up the club, you should immediately know, hey, we need to go get this Plan B pill. Not like 4 months later. It's like, hey, take a Plan B.
Hey, when we had sex a couple months ago, can you take care of that?
That LSU education, I see.
Oh man, you're showing. Yeah, go ahead and pop one of those Plan B.
Oh, come on, man. Jamar.
Oh, well, it didn't end there. She continued to post screenshots of it. He said, these fake pages be killing me, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Here's his stats, pictures of her. Well, today, around 2:00, actually, she posted again. And she said, I told myself, and this is just text on a page. She said, I told myself I wouldn't be putting my business out on the media anymore. But putting your hands on a pregnant female is lame as fuck. And then tag Jamar Chase. And then the very next picture is just her living room, but in big ass letters, pussy. So she's still mad, but she's obviously claiming that Jamar Chase put his hands on her. And, as as it is with most sports teams, if you get accused of that, you're going to not be available to the team, more than likely. It's safer for them to pull you off the field and say, hey, look, we can't take the media hit right now. You're going to be a distraction to the team. You're not going to be contributing in a positive way for, in the football world. So out you come. Until we solve this, you're on the bench, buddy. And by on the bench, not in the facility, not reporting to practices, not doing all those essential things that a football player needs to do to be good, let alone a rookie trying to learn the new ropes, the ropes of the NFL and the playbook. So, I mean,
you're on leave.
If he is innocent, this is highly unfortunate that this is happening and is unfair to him. But that's the least of our worries here. If he is guilty of doing what he's being accused of, this man's career might be over before it even started. Like, I know that might be a bit of a drastic response to it, but putting your hands on a woman is bad. Like, absolutely awful. Putting your hands on a pregnant female, or a pregnant female, I don't know, pregnant woman, sorry, that's what I was trying to correct there, is even worse. Like,
well, we did have Big Ben did, end up having a pretty long and fruitful career. So
yeah, that's crazy, man. Like,
I mean, I'm not going to say his career is over, regardless of whether he's guilty or not. But I mean, obviously, it seems like he's extremely immature, just from his responses. I wouldn't give her much credit for being that much more mature. It just seems like an extremely toxic situation from the jump, from her first tweet on. It just seemed like y'all guys probably need to separate. But hey, man, now that a kid's involved, regardless of whether he, beat her or not, they're gonna have to find a way to make this work because now they have a child.
Yeah. And she actually has deleted the post since doing it.
That's good.
But I mean, it's all you need is to put it out there, and so I mean, my thing is he needs better people around him. Yeah. He needs some of these vets. Some of the vets are, oh shit, Cincinnati might not be the best team as far as vets. God damn. But he needs somebody to kind of take him under the wing and be like, yo, bro, stay clear of this. Like maybe Jarvis Landry or somebody. Like just go from Cleveland and be like, hey, bro, I got you, bro. And it's stupid, man. It's a matter of fact, Jarvis Landry should mentor this kid. He's an LSU alumni just like him. So
Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
Isn't he still on the Browns?
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, you can still reach out to this kid as an alumnus and just be like, yo, bro. Like,
just reach out to his own teammate. Is Joe Bro effing up like this? Go chill with Joe. Joe not fucking up out here. Go chill with Joe.
I mean, that's also a different situation though. Joe was kind of bred to be that kind of guy. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. So hang out with him.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. But even still, like Joe probably got into his own situations too that you just never heard about. But I mean, my biggest thing is, and another you need better people around you, and then two, bro, you can't be emotional, bro. You can't be that emotional because only thing your emotion is going to do in a situation like that is get you in trouble. And now, granted, I won't say his career is necessarily over because I mean it's no telling what happened. No telling what happened in that house. Like I know, or the apartment or wherever it was. The biggest reason, with Ray Rice, the Ray Rice situation was a little different than a lot of the other domestic violence situations because it was no way you could avoid that. Dude gave his wife a haymaker. You saw it clearly on tape, and there was no denying that. There's no speculation. There's nothing. It was cut and dry what happened. This one, it's just a lot. It's a lot of not saying that he did or didn't do anything, but it's a lot of speculation. So I won't necessarily say that his career is over. Is over because we don't know. Nobody really knows what happened in this situation. So
Yeah, I mean, you're right. We don't know. We definitely don't, and we probably will never know all the details.
yeah,
I mean, even with the whole Jameis incident that happened at Florida State, not the crab legs, but the sexual assault thing that happened after that, like there were so many reports on that from different ways. And then the crazy part was that even after her own the text from her testifying and saying exactly what happens and the parts that she lied on, and like setting the story straight on it, that part didn't get half of the airing or the airtime that the original accusations did. And so, it took Jameis a long time to recover from that. So if this is not true, that's terrible. But I don't know.
I remember more
like
about
I said, there's
Jameis
smoke, there's fire, typically.
jumping on the table and being like, "F her in the P." Like when it's like, God damn, Jameis.
Man, he went for a moment there. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, all those stories were rolled together. It's like, damn, Jameis, just sound a little rapey out here. Like, just like sit down, bro.
Like I was trying to defend him to people, and then it was just like story after story after story. I was like,
yeah, but not like I think, but I do think the vets are gonna have to do a better job getting with some of these younger guys and keeping them out of trouble. Because I mean, right now more than ever, because we are in we're still in the cancel culture. So
I don't know if we're so much in cancel culture anymore. We're coming out of it, but we're in like it's like with this, you can't tie cancel culture into this if it's true. This is like right and wrong culture.
Well, yeah, but even still, like what I was trying to get at with that is, regardless of whether regardless of what he did or whether he did it or not, these kind of stories leak and people are like, so many people now jump to the side of you're guilty before proven innocent now. And it's like, oh, well, you should have been and then even if you're proven innocent, well, you shouldn't have put yourself in that situation. And it's just like, yes, I get it, but that's my point with that. Some of these vets need to take these rookies and stuff under their wings immediately and be like, bro, stay out of these situations and do a better job trying to keep, like, now granted, some of these teams might have to do like Jerry Jones did with damn Dez Bryant and literally have people follow him all the time. Like,
but I think we're missing the big point here, and it's not even about all the auxiliary stuff. What we really need to, what the vets and stuff need to really get with these kids, and the similar story with PJ Washington is like, having children is a big deal, man. Like, don't just go get with any girl, especially when it's super toxic, because the ones we have to really feel bad for are these kids. Like, think of how not only all this negative media attention, they already are going back and forth in real life. So imagine what kind of relationship they're going to have for the next 21 years with this kid.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Cycle.
It's a nightmare. So it's like, people really got to, watch who you're laying down with, man. Really, like, protect your seed, protect yourself, and women, protect your womb, protect, It's I feel like that's the most important thing out of all of this.
Well, let's get out of the murky waters of all of that. And let's talk about another rookie that had, some bad luck as well, but not quite in the same ballpark as this. Travis Etienne, the running back / now wide receiver, essentially the Percy Harvin of the Jaguars. Just learned that he's going to be missing the remainder or the entirety of this season because he just got placed on injured reserve because he's having surgery for a Liz Frank injury. And this is a guy that a lot of people had a lot of expectations for down there. The way Urban Meyer was talking about using him was very similar to how you saw him utilize a lot of the guys of certain builds and skills and abilities like him in his college offense, like Percy Harvin at Florida, like I can't remember his name right now. The wide receiver weapon they had at Ohio State. He was both. Anyway, he likes to get those small, muscular, speedy guys and use them in a litany of ways.
Oh, you talking about Curtis Samuel?
That's the one. Thank you. Curtis Samuel and a lot of those guys. He likes to move them and use those skills all over the place. They lost them for the year. So as Bryce was hoping for a breakout season from Travis Etienne and now has ruined his running back depth chart, a team depleted with talent already has got to go looking elsewhere.
I had to Google what the hell is a Liz Frank?
On his foot, yeah.
It's like the bone that from your big toe,
yeah.
To
the last major Liz Frank that I remember, Matt Shaw.
Mm-hmm. It's a common basketball injury too.
Yeah. But that was like NFL. That was the last one I remember having a season-ending injury with the Liz Frank surgery.
So the Liz Frank is the fragment.
Didn't Cam have Liz Frank problems last year?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's the bone on the top,
or wait, three. I think 3 years ago. God, time flies.
These diagrams are not very clear as to what a Liz Frank is.
So we're all studying anatomy right now. It's crazy that those little things will take you out for the whole season, but it sucks. We'll see him next year.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess as a running back, if you don't have full motion and pain tolerance in your foot, you're not really going to be.
They do have another gadget guy there, Tavon Austin.
Oh, is he there? God.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Did y'all guys see this Cam Newton situation?
Yeah, about him getting an off-site test that was approved but wasn't approved.
Yep. Yeah. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the situation, Cam Newton said, "Hey, Patriots front office, I need to leave for a little while. I'd like to go here. What do I need to do?" They said, "All right, you'll go to this facility. You're going to take a COVID test every day, and when you come back, you're good." Well, Cam Newton did that. He took 5 COVID tests while he was off-site, reported negative to every single one, got back to the facility, and they said, "Oh, yikes. I'm going to have to ask you to move your desk back just a little bit this way. And this stapler, it's mine." He's got to miss 5 days. He's going to miss 5 days of camp in the middle of camp when he's fighting for his NFL life with Mac Jones, because Mac Jones has looked really good, and Cam Newton's looked pretty good. And the Patriots are going, who do we want at quarterback? This is crazy. What do y'all think? How does this affect the starting situation up there in New England, Micah?
This kind of reminds me of the infamous what was that, cortisone shot that the Chargers gave to Rod Taylor last year.
Oops. You hear that?
It's like we got this man. We got Cam, but we got this rookie that we really want to get play time. So hey, let's just how about we tell him and give us a chance to actually see the rookie at work.
So you think this is a nefarious deed by the Patriots?
Yeah, it wouldn't put me. I wouldn't put it past them. That's just me personally. There's too much shady stuff coming out of that organization over the years that I could definitely see some kind of nefarious attempt to give Mac Jones a chance and give them an excuse to put Mac Jones with the starters and see how he fares with the big guys.
Marco, do you think this was an honest mistake by the front office, or do you think that the Legion of Doom up there is going after their own guys now?
No, I think what happened was that, so basically Mac overheard Cam Newton, going and telling the coaching staff like, "Hey guys, blah blah blah. I'm gonna have to do this." So Mac called him on his own afterwards. He's like, "Yo, what up, killer? Yo, your coach just told me all you got to do is this."
Yes, we'd like to speak to Mr. Bill Belichick. Yes, this is Mr. Belichick. No, he does not need. He forged the letter to go on the field trip.
Oh man, it's just completely. I don't know. It's sort of funny, but I mean, I think Cam still is going to securely have the starting role, but there's not a lot of wiggle room here. I mean, what is it? One more preseason game, so I guess Mac will get. Has Cam even been playing those preseason games?
Yeah, he played. He played.
Yeah, they both got in time.
Yeah, and the last game he looked pretty good though. I mean,
not every team's doing what we've been doing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get to that when we start talking to like who do we think we are? Like that's what I'm gonna get to.
Who do you think?
I will say this: the Chargers have decided not to play a single starter the entire preseason.
Who the hell do they think they are? Like, you got Big Ben out here.
Derwin James is like, yes, I'm not gonna get hurt this year.
Big Ben lost like 40, 50 pounds. He's looking like he's 10 years back ago, and we can't. Pat Mahomes taking snaps, and Matt Ryan over there saying, "I'm not effing suiting up." Like what?
It's not his choice. We'll get to that though, like you said. So part of the reason though that a lot of these guys are not getting playing time is obviously, like we kind of alluded to there, is injury. Injury happens in the preseason. Your body's getting used to not being as active as you are right now. You're going through camp. You're taking a lot of hits. You're doing a lot of things. You're trying, especially if you're a guy that's a fringe roster player. These are the type of guys that either get hurt or cause injury because they're trying too hard or they're trying as hard as they possibly can, and they're doing things, around players that probably aren't trying as hard because, like, I'm going to make the team. I'm good. And a simple leg whip or, getting too excited and hitting somebody the wrong way when they're not expecting it.
Justin Fields.
Right. Oh, God. Justin Fields got fucking annihilated. Got annihilated on that hit. I saw it and I was like, oh, he's dead.
Career over already. Damn.
Did you see Bob Menery? Oh, his fucking head come off.
Bob Menery is a great person to follow on Instagram.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so AJ McCarron got hurt last week. He got hit in the knee, and it was kind of like, oh, what happened there? Stayed a down or two more, and then hopped off the field, and then we saw Felipe Franks for the rest of the game. Turns out that he tore his ACL on that, and he's done for the year. We're all deeply saddened by this news. And now moving on, the fact that Felipe Franks is going to be... No, actually, not trying to be insensitive. It sucks. Injuries are terrible. But as an organization does, we got to move on as fans. AJ McCarron will not be a part of the team this year, and we're looking at Felipe Franks. Not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast, my friend.
Micah's favorite player in the entire NFL is now an Atlanta Falcon. You know what?
We called it last week, didn't we?
I think Micah did, exactly. So, Micah, the floor is yours. Talk about who the hell we just signed. The savior for the Atlanta Falcons quarterback room, Mr.
So the Falcons just signed let's just say he's been a road man, essentially. Josh Rosen, a journeyman, his fifth team in his fourth season.
Arizona, Miami, Tampa, now
San Francisco, then here.
Yeah, San Francisco now. Here.
So yeah, I mean, now Josh Rosen was a guy who. Here's a guy coming out of college. He had a lot of talent.
I'm still waiting for you to address him by his proper name, and that's Josh, former first round top 10 pick.
Yeah,
quarterback of the future Aaron Rodgers.
That's what I was going to say. Just call him Aaron Rodgers.
Too smart to play football.
Yeah.
Too
he
good.
Didn't want it.
to
He
listen
didn't
to
want
coaches.
it bad enough.
Mister, I'm smarter than everyone in this organization, Rosen. And
Jacuzzi in my dorm room, Rosen.
Now, I actually was gonna say that, like, the guy they once said was, too smart to be coached. said I didn't know that being smart was a bad trick for football.
If you're Josh Rosen, it is.
every time I say something, he says I'm saying it wrong. It's so annoying.
No, but yeah, I mean, when I was looking at the free agent list, and the top 4 quarterbacks in free agency were Alex Smith,
First round pick,
which was a no.
We're not going to get him. RG3,
first round pick. No, yeah, first round pick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Blake Bortles,
First round pick.
and Josh Rosen,
First round pick.
Top 10 pick.
so
Were
I
any of
said-
them outside the top 10?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think they're all top.
Where did Bortles go?
Bortles, I thought he might have been like in the 15 range, but he could have been top 10.
First quarterback selected. Win. What pick? Keep saying what you're saying, and I'll
Yeah. Well, but like, all right. So
number
the biggest
5.
5. Oh yeah. Damn. So Bortles, like, basically the only 2 I could have seen us potentially getting were Bortles or Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen's the younger guy. He's less proven to be a bust, and because he really technically he hadn't really gotten a shot.
Do you not remember us playing him when he was in Arizona last year?
Yeah.
Or 2 years ago?
That was what,
2 years. It was like 2 years.
Yeah.
That was like
That was 3 years ago,
that was
actually.
3 years
God,
ago, yeah.
was that 3 years
But
ago?
I mean, yeah. But I mean, think about it. He didn't really have any weapons. He had like a 34-year-old Fitz at the time.
Weapon.
Didn't really. Yeah. Offensive line was the worst in the NFL that year.
Yeah, that's the one thing you can say. He's never played behind a good offensive line.
Yeah.
He's never had a chance to start on a good team.
On a decent team. So
A decent team,
yeah, so like, yeah, it was a train wreck of a team that year. Then the next year they bring in Cliff Kingsbury, and he immediately drafts
This Rosen guy? No, I'm good.
So
Dangles
don't want
him
him.
out there.
yeah.
Like, who wants this guy?
So then Josh Rosen goes to the Dolphins, and when he does get to play, they have the worst offensive line in football. And then
Didn't Fitzmagic take his job anyway and do better anyway?
Yeah. Fitzmagic took his job, and I think they wound up winning 5 games that season. They went like 5-11.
Yeah.
With Fitzmagic at the helm. And then, like, after that, he sat behind Brady for half a season, and then the Niners picked him up off of the
dump heap.
practice squad, and then they put him on their practice squad. So yeah, I mean, now the only upside I think about him, he's young and he's played in a West Coast offense.
And he's got a cannon.
Not so much.
What? Have you ever
He's
seen that man
decent.
throw the ball on the
But
You don't get Aaron Rodgers comparisons for nothing.
yeah, I mean, he's got a good arm, but it's not. When I'm thinking cannon, I'm thinking Josh Allen.
No, he's not there. He's got a pretty good arm
He's
there.
got a good arm. Yeah, he's got a pretty good arm. But
it's stronger than Matt's.
yeah. But
Guess who I might be starting in the franchise this year?
Hey, remember when I had the Chargers? I traded for him that one year when I was in the Madden franchise. So, but yeah, I mean, he's like I said, he's played it. He has to learn the terminology, but I figured he would probably be the best option because he might be the least corrupted out of that that class of star quarterbacks.
Yeah, but on that list, see him, Bortles. What was the other? There was one more that would have been interesting, but those are the only.
RG.
No, hell no, it was not RG. I say that would have been
Smith.
No.
Alex Smith. You had Jamie Newman and KJ Costello.
Yeah, those were the only Bortles and Josh Rosen were the only two that.
Yeah.
The only ones that
At
made
any
sense for
interest.
what we were looking for out of a backup
Yeah.
quarterback. But let's move out of that one because I mean, thank you, Josh Rosen. Thank you for coming and giving us competition. Let's ask real quick around the horn. Who's going to be our backup going into the week 1 of the season? Micah,
Rosen.
Marco.
Rosen easily. I mean, we saw the real Felipe Franks.
Yeah.
I mean,
As bad as Bryce wanted to make Felipe Franks happen, it's not there yet.
No,
he
he's
has
not
the ability. He has the ability, but it's not there yet.
He's not a backup level NFL quarterback.
The one thing I will say though is when he did make a good play, make good throws, his receivers didn't do him any favors.
Oh my God,
they sure did.
Tajay Sharp.
We'll get to that because yeah, we're gonna be covering that here in a second about our wide receivers because it's not been good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so what we're talking about is actually the performance that you saw out of our Atlanta Falcons this last week against the Miami Dolphins. And, you know, it's one of those that's going to be hard to judge because, sorry, let me answer that or send that. But, you know, we didn't get to see our starters like we alluded to earlier. You didn't get to see a lot of our starters. You barely got to see a lot of our second string guys and a lot of guys that are going to be contributing this season haven't seen the field all preseason.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him in camp. Yeah, what were you about to say, Micah?
It was only two on the defensive end that I can really remember think of. It was T. Mariner and
Michael Walker.
Yeah, Michael Walker. Those are the only two.
Yeah, and I mean,
wait, Isaiah Oliver and T. Mariner are the only two contributors that I really saw.
But I mean, none of them are going to be in starting roles right now. So I mean, you know, we're going to be in the nickel a lot, but that's not our base. Yeah. So yeah. Oliver more likely is going to be our nickel back again, because what we've seen from Sheffield in camp, it's just not. He's not what we're thinking he's going to be with the Quinn era. So hard to judge what we're actually seeing. We're seeing a lot of scheme differences and things like that, but we wound up losing 37-17. You know, AJ McCarron went down halfway through the second. Felipe Franks led the entirety of the game pretty much, and it did not look pretty. But I want you guys to give me, from this game, your positive takeaways and your areas of improvement. I know it's going to be hard, like we just mentioned, because you don't get to see a lot of starters. But what were your positive takeaways from this game, Marco?
I like Adi Ogundeji. I like he was doing a lot of positive things out there, even though it's like, man, wrap up, bro, wrap up. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. But he was everywhere he needed to be. And I feel like from a supplementary player, you know, obviously wrapping up for me is always a big pet peeve because it's like you need to do that on any level. And I don't think you ever necessarily get better at wrapping up. But for a guy, he moves so well. He's always where he needs to be. And for a supplementary player, I think that's going to be very beneficial for us this season, you know, and he can have a lot of assist tackles and a lot of things like that, you know, because he just moves very well. You said negatives.
Well, hold on. You say that. Let me get Mike. Okay. What's your positives from the game? Your positive takeaways?
Well, first and foremost, we did get some pressure on Tua. Tua was able to maneuver the pocket, but considering the fact that we didn't play our starters and we had a bunch of second and third string guys, and they consistently got, you know, made Tua kind of rush and have to move around to get the ball off. It's a decent sign. It means we have some depth at defensive line. It was once one of our weakest positions. Also the running backs. The running backs I saw looked solid. Now, granted, there is one that in particular I saw that made a terrible mistake that probably will get him cut, but there was some flashes of some good from the running game, which gives me some hope. Once all the starters and everything come into play, we could potentially have a very productive run game this year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think y'all both saw what I saw. It's that run game. I've been saying it from the very beginning. We've got a deep and talented running back room this year. We don't have a bunch of guys on the roster that's like, what's he really going to contribute? We have the problem of how can we get him in with this many people in there, because they all have their abilities that they can do things. None of them are elite at what they do, but they all do certain things very well. Mike Davis is a guy who is going to create contact and make you tackle him to bring him down, or bring another guy to bring him down. He's a big guy, and he's got really good vision. A lot of people forget how good he was at South Carolina and how that injury kind of derailed him from everyone's train of thought on what he did then. Cordero, we'll talk about him later, but I agree, Micah, like deep, talented running back room with a scheme that is going to work in their favor. But also, Marco, you nailed it with Ade Ogundeji. Like, that kid's bringing the heat. He's like, I'm going to win this job because he sees there's a spot for him, and he's just good.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good at what he does. JTM, Jacob Tuoti Mariner, the fact that he's lost over 30, I think it's close to 30 pounds this offseason, to slim down to go to more of that outside linebacker mold. He's no longer going to be playing in a D tackle's body. He's playing outside, and he's going to be an edge rusher. He moves well, and he's active, and he's just really fun to watch.
Dwayne Johnson Jr. I liked his effort in this game as well.
Dwayne Johnson Jr.
Who's the Rock?
You don't know what I'm talking about.
No,
he's like a cornerback.
Oh no, I didn't. I missed
Emmanuel
that.
Ellerbe as well.
Oh yeah, I mean Ellerbe and
Dwayne Johnson Jr. is the safety from San Diego State.
Oh, that's it.
Don't
even know that name. No.
Okay, he was doing pretty well. He had some tackles.
What's Dion? The safety we drafted second round.
Richie Grant.
Richie Grant. Yeah, I was about to call him Deion Grant, but I'm like, that's not right.
That's not right.
But yeah, he looked a lot better in the second.
He's not going to be a starter though. I can tell he's not quite there yet. I mean, he's made some improvements. You're right.
But I mean, from first preseason game to this one, it was leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Difference. Now, another thing that I definitely noticed, Kadri Allison looked pretty damn good. And
I'm saying, man, that running back room, it's got talent.
It makes Dirk Cutter look even worse that you didn't see this on your bench. You had this guy buried so deep on your bench that he got like one carry last year. And
it was like 2 touchdowns on the year. He only had like 3 carries or something.
And who is this guy?
And the guys that you were playing over him are like struggling to make teams elsewhere.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right.
Avery Williams as well. Avery Williams.
Oh, Avery. Once again. Avery showed out this whole
did a great job.
Bro, I'm excited to see him in the kick and the punt return game.
Mm-hmm. Areas of improvement for y'all, gentlemen. Mike, I'll let you go first on this one.
So many. There's so many. We do need some secondary help. We need we need to solidify it. Now, granted, I know the starters aren't playing, but in the event like last year where we did have some injuries in the secondary, we need to be more confident in what we have as backups. Pass rush, we need to get more consistent with getting off blocks, getting home, and wrapping up. Like tackling, there were a lot of missed tackles. That's just the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, offensive line was a little bit better, but they could be better. Of course, quarterback play, but I mean, we're dealing with backups. And lastly, the unit that honestly has kind of frustrated me the most is the wide receiver group. This what was, I think I said it in the group. It was the Discord. I was saying how every year I had to apologize to Mel Kiper because every year Mel Kiper's like, Falcons are going to draft a receiver. And it's just like, this guy's an idiot. How do you think we're going to draft a receiver every year?
We got Julio Jones.
We're deep at receiver. Man, we ain't got to worry about no receiver. And looking at us in the preseason, and it's just like, bruh, if Ridley and Gage are on the field, I don't trust any of these guys. I mean, it's like, goodness gracious, the cupboard looks bare after those two. It's like, damn, can somebody get open?
Yeah.
Like, can somebody use your body, use position or something, box out? I don't care I don't care how you have to do it. Give your receiver a target. Give your quarterback a target to throw to. Goodness gracious.
Marco, what's your areas of improvement?
I struggle with like the term improvement when we're seeing a whole bunch of guys who need to do nothing but improve. But but I agree with Micah. Firstly, with the wrap up, like, come on, man, you gotta wrap up like on every level. Like they tell you, don't shoulder tackle, don't arm tackle.
Come on, Tebow.
Right, and I don't know if OD needs to take off them sleeves or something, but wrap up, man. And then yeah, the receivers, man. I know our boy Darby had one pretty nice catch, but other than that, man, these guys, I really don't know I don't know. Like, I know we're just watching number twos, but like Micah said,
most of the game you're watching 3s and 4s and sometimes 5s.
But who are our 2s? Like, I know it's like Russell Gage is an okay receiver, right? Calvin Ridley,
really good.
Calvin Ridley's really good, but he hasn't necessarily shown us he's a 1 yet. So we still have to see that. I'm just saying he hasn't had to be a 1 yet. Like, he hasn't technically had to be a 1 yet.
Bruh.
Do you disagree with that?
I mean, in the entire second half of last season.
He's still running backwards. Running backwards. I still see him running backwards. No, but so I'm just saying, when you have one guy who's a solid number 1, right? You have a second guy who's gone from a 3 to now he's your guaranteed 2, and yeah, he's good. Those 2 guys are really good. But besides that, like, I don't know, it's going to be scary for Matt. And the thing, Felipe Frank's like, yeah, he's not ready yet, but how ready would we say he was if he like had a little better game, maybe a couple touchdowns, even though it'd be fool's gold? We might be being like, okay, yeah, Felipe, we have a little confidence in him, but I know there's certain things he did, like, he took some, what was that, a sack he took or something? Mm-hmm. It was a bad sack he took, I forget.
Which one, the 3 in a row?
Yeah, the 3 in a row. It was a couple. He's a safety. The safety
was a really bad one.
Yeah.
But then it's losing confidence in your receivers, though. It's like he has no, where the hell is he going to throw it?
Bro,
would you trust Tajay Sharp after that shit?
Yeah, no one's getting separation. No one's catching it when they do get balls thrown to them. So it's like, what are you going to do?
Right.
And I'm not even that AJ McCarron's terrible, but like even him, like he's probably never seen something that unopened in preseason. He's like, what the hell's going on out here?
Oh man, nah, but even look at the play to Christian Blake. Christian Blake is a guy who's gotten playing time over the years. He threw the jump ball to Christian Blake in the back of the end zone, and it was a beautifully thrown.
Yeah, he got to catch that.
And Christian Blake drops it. Meanwhile, our rival down in New Orleans, Jameis is throwing the guys who've struggled to make team. Dudes are making one-hand catches in the end zone. It's like, bruh, what can we get this? Can we get this from our receiver?
Right. Like if Matt were throwing it to them, would they suddenly be able to catch it? I don't think so. It's like I know we were playing 2s and 3s against their 1s for a good portion of that game, but I mean, still, It's scary.
But I mean, shit, the Saints receivers were 2s and 3s too.
That's what I'm saying. It's scary, man. It's scary.
Like I said, their receivers making these circus catches. Meanwhile, ours can't catch stuff hitting them dead in the damn hands. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even really need to give my areas of improvement because y'all pretty much covered it there. I think we all view it the same way. So that gives us another week after that game to prepare for, really the best team we'll see in the preseason. If they play their starters, if they're doing what we're doing, you may see them a series or two here, but I hope not because they're stacked at every position. That's the Cleveland Browns, who are 2-0. We'll be facing them this Sunday at 8 p.m. here in Atlanta. It'll be our final preseason game. You're supposed to see the starters. You're supposed to see
the final preseason game.
Yeah, we are the last one. You're supposed to see the starters for question mark amount of time. No one really knows. Coach Smith hasn't really told us exactly how long we're supposed to see him. The assumption is a series or two. You may see him a quarter. Who knows? I think Micah, you said the Chargers aren't playing him at all, or is that you, Marco?
No, I said
that.
Yeah.
Chargers.
So Coach Smith might maybe you know what? Let's not risk it. Let's get out of the preseason healthy and get out there and hold our offense a secret and not show the NFL. So how long do you guys think the starters are going to play on Sunday? And do you think we're actually going to see what our offense can look like and defense can look like this season, Marco?
I think they'll probably be in there for 2 drives, which will amount to the whole first quarter. And no, I don't think we're going to see anything that's going to indicate what it's going to look like, because we never really have, even though it's a new coaching staff. I've never really seen, except for that Super Bowl year. I will say, Matt came in and he was slicing people up in preseason. I was like, oh damn, yeah. This looks nice,
promising.
So maybe, but I doubt it.
Okay. So you're predicting a little bit and straight vanilla when they're in there.
Yeah.
Micah, what you got the starters doing?
Yeah. I'd probably say maybe 2, maybe 3. Like, say if we have a drive where we go 3 and out and just have a bad series, then he might bring the starters out for a third drive. I don't think we're going to get more. I don't think they're going to get a lot of play. And it will be fairly vanilla because Arthur Smith seems like Belichick 2.0, and he wants to keep things close to the vest, and he doesn't want to give teams too much. He doesn't want to allow teams to see too much of what we got in store.
I agree, and I think this is kind of what we've talked about earlier this season. I don't know if it was me or if it was just a whole, but I've held this idea for a while. Like, why show your hand to teams and keep it a secret? Because I know we've seen Arthur Smith as a offensive coordinator in the NFL, but you haven't seen Arthur Smith with this team, and especially putting his own type of offense in. And look back at Sean McVay in his first year with the Rams. Look back when Kyle Shanahan, got here. You didn't know what to expect, and that always catches teams off guard. If you can come in and do something that they've never seen before, you have that advantage. Offense has the advantage in the NFL nowadays. And if you're going out there and the defensive coordinator is like, I don't know what he's going to do, so I'm just going to throw a whole bunch of things that we do at him. Well, guess what? They have your tape. They're going to have offense in there to negate what you do. So offense is always at that advantage.
Bill Belichick last year. I mean, when did they bring Cam in? I know they didn't do any of that battering ram stuff in preseason.
Right. Yeah. I mean, people are like, whoa.
So it worked for 4 or 3 weeks, however long they worked.
They didn't really have much of a preseason last year, though.
That is true.
And you also, you had that one game that Cam versus the Seahawks, people were like, this is a different Cam. Right. And then COVID, and then the idea that Cam sucks came about when he got left behind, like Micah's talked about. So
real quick, I will say just what Micah said. If there's more than one, if there's 2, 3 and outs with our starters, Atlanta fans are gonna go.
Well, hold on. Let's get there. So I want you to talk about kind of like what you just alluded to there, Marco. And I'm going to ask you one question first. So the Falcons must win this for them to give you or fans in general, let's just keep it yours, to give you hope for this season. What must they do on Sunday?
I think the starters have to score a touchdown. And that's it. That's my stipulate. They have to score a touchdown. They can't look as bad as the rest of the team has looked.
Okay, so you want them to score. Micah, what does the team in general have to do on Sunday to give you?
They have to compete. They have to be competitive. They have to be efficient in the time they're on the field. So if you're on the field for 2 drives, if you get off with 10 points and you have some sustained drives, and like defensively, if you can get a 3 and out, or stops, like get a 3 and out and then hold them to a field goal. So if we're up 10-3 and both sets of starters come out the game, I'll be satisfied. It's like, all right, so the defense looks pretty good. Offense is looking efficient and doing what they're supposed to. And knowing that it's vanilla, I'd totally be satisfied with that.
Yeah, I'm siding with you on this one, Micah, because the Browns are projected to win the AFC North this year, and that's in a division with the Ravens and the Steelers, who, like you said, Ben has lost a ton of weight. That's a really good roster, and they were 12-0 at one point last season. So talent-wise, the Browns have the best roster in the AFC North, hands down. Like they've got the best offensive line, they've got the best defensive line. They're probably second best, yeah.
Oh, the Steelers defensive line is pretty nasty.
Yeah, but so let's cover this real quick. I brought it up for a reason. So
they got Sue, they got Miles.
Hold on.
Garrett.
They don't have Sue.
They don't have Sue? Where's
Sue? Sue's still on the Bucks. They've got, I had this up. Oh, there it is. So they got Myles Garrett and Malik Jackson on next to each other. Malik Jackson's their D tackle, and they throw in they throw in Andrew Billings at their nose tackle, and Jadeveon Clowney on the other side. I know you don't like him because he doesn't get sacks, but he's a damn good run defender, and he will get pressure. He doesn't always finish them, but he gets a ton of pressure.
He's like Tack, but a better run stopper.
He's an elite run defender. So and then they have Tack as their second string, situational pass rusher. Sheldon Day's back there, Jordan Elliott. And they got a lot of depth, and they are a very physical front.
I meant Clowney. I don't know why I said Sue.
When you said Tack, that immediately just like dropped them. Like
I know, right? That's not a star. You don't get a star
Tack's
for that.
Gonna do well as a situational pass rusher up there. He'll probably have 4 or 5 sacks this season.
Tack is like the Black Corey Bierman. He's all fire, but never get off a block to get to a quarterback.
He's a lot more athletic than Croy, though. That's
but the biggest thing was the biggest thing with Corey Bierman. We love his motor, but he could never get off a block to finish.
Croy is trying to push those ends, but Tack will run through a defensive end too. We've seen it, or offensive tackle. Yeah, we've seen that before.
Yeah, but I've also seen him do that and then run right by the quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. He'll run full speed the wrong direction. So okay.
All right. So since we're on the negative side, or actually, compete was my answer in agreement with Micah. But if the Falcons struggle at this area, it will give me pause for this season, Micah.
If our receiver core continues to look as bad as they've looked this preseason,
with the starters?
Yeah, with the starters. Like if we're throwing passes and receivers are dropping the ball left and right, dudes are like not getting open. Because I mean the Browns secondary is a solid secondary, but it's not full of elite guys. Denzel Ward is a talented corner.
Greedy's pretty good.
Yeah, Greedy's pretty good. But
I say Denzel's on the verge of breaking out. You don't think so?
I mean, he's extremely talented. I like the Denzel Ward, but if Ridley and Gage can't get separation as much as experienced as they are, and as many years as they've kind of worked with Julio, they've all worked to get better at their craft. If they're not getting separation from those guys with all that experience, then it's just like, bruh, what are we going to do with teams like the Saints where they allow their corners to hold us all the time? The refs never, like, literally, what's his name just wraps up our receivers and they never call it. Marshawn Lattimore, he just hugs receivers and they never call it. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think you got to worry about that, Denzel. He's played a lot more fundamentally sound than all grabbing hold Julio Jones pants over there.
I'm an elite corner. I wrap up every time.
He said, "I'm a shooter."
Marco, what area on the Falcons, if they struggle this Sunday, would it make you kind of go, this might be a bad season?
I'll chirp on sort of the same thing Mike has said, but go a little bit further. But like those things, like anything that is like an indication of yippiness, like drop passes, false starts, and then at the same time, I know I was listening a little bit to 92.9 during the week, and I was hearing some guys saying that Matt Ryan was struggling in the red zone offense against the Dolphins. So if we get down there and we see a little bit more of that, because I'm of the belief that, I know a lot of people like to say preseason doesn't matter, but I think that when things don't matter, they set the tone. So if guys are looking like consummate professionals, catching everything, turning it upfield, not getting penalties, not blah, 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 when it doesn't matter, they're going to do the same thing when it does matter. If you're doing all that kind of stuff when it doesn't matter, then there's no reason for me to believe that you're not going to do it when everything's on the line.
Okay. I'm going to go a completely different direction, and it's offensive line. If our offensive line continues to kind of look just mediocre, and no one really stands out, granted, we haven't seen Lindstrom. You've seen a little bit of Hennessy.
Haven't played either. Right tackle.
Yeah. Well, Caleb. Huh?
Caleb? Not Ogre, but what's his name from the Goonies?
Sloth? No.
Yeah, Sloth. Yeah.
Who? Oh, you think Caleb McGarry is Sloth?
Yeah. Hey, you guys.
He played a little bit when he came back from that injury. He got in.
Yeah, I must have missed it, but
no Jake Matthews either. So you're missing some guys. And
his face looked okay? What's the
Jalen Mayfield?
Yeah, Mayfield looked okay.
Jalen's looked really good at left guard, man. Yeah, really good. I'm excited for him. I saw him get after some of those ends and D tackles, and I was like, ooh.
Right, and they were running to his side. They were testing you.
But
I'll say offensive line is mine. If they can't do it.
Marco, I will say though, you said they said Matt struggled in the red zone against the Dolphins, but I mean, that's not new though. I mean, that's just being honest. That's always been, because there's certain, like I said, there's certain throws that he struggles to make, but I mean, that's why I think a run game would help, because you can take some of that pressure off of him and you can balance it out. So that's what helped when we had Gurley before, his knees gave out halfway through the season last year, because once we got inside the 5, you could just hand it to him and it was like touchdown. Well, and minus that Detroit game where it was like, don't score. Fall in the end zone.
What a catastrophe of a season.
God, that was
If we
man.
like, I so hope we could like turn around and win a Super Bowl, because that'd be the greatest like documentary of all time. Like this season to this season, even if it's like within the next 3-4 years, like just to show that what a catastrophe from the special teams thing in Dallas to, oh my God, just what a catastrophe of a season.
If we win the Super Bowl this season, Jerry Jones should fire Dan Quinn just because. Like, I don't care if they're like 13-1 at that, or they went like they were 15-2 on the season, and they had the number 1 defense, and they had like 6 Pro Bowlers on defense. Jerry Jones should just be like, nope.
Bro, no. So imagine even if we made it to the NFC Championship game, it'll be like the perfect Atlanta season where we fired a coach, and then like immediately afterwards, it's just like boom, explode. Damn, this team was actually good, better than we thought they were.
Oh man. So yeah, pass protection. So that leads us to possible guys that are gonna be in the bubble for this after this game, because this is the 3rd game. We only got 1 more week, and then we start the regular season. Of course, we can't carry 83 men into the regular season. You can only keep a 53-man roster with 10 on the practice squad, and then you've got your injury designations as well. So, there's a couple positions that I think are pretty obvious we're not going to carry some of these guys in. So I don't really want to name them. Of course, we're not going to carry like all these guys on the back end of the linebacker depth, because you've got Dion, you've got Foye, you've got Michael Walker. You can probably got one more space for like an inside linebacker. So talking about them doesn't really do us any good because people know. But we've got people in other positions where it's like, all right, what do we have here? And like, can some of these guys fight for time? And one of those guys, and he was really the star of the first quarter of week 1, and that's Jonathan Bullard, the defensive end / D tackle from Florida. He's come in. He's actually pushed some of Marlon Davidson's time down because he's played so well. But Marlon's also looked good as well in other areas. And they kind of bring you 2 different things, but it's like, do we want to keep him just for his run stuffing abilities, even though he did flash with that sack in game 1? So who knows if he's really going to make that roster. I'm going to go through the whole list here, and then you can kind of point out if you want to keep any of these guys or if there's anybody else you think. I think after we drafted Kyle Pitts and we brought in Lee Smith, it was kind of written on the wall, but as we mentioned him a couple weeks ago, Jaden Graham, we thought he was going to be something good here because he had some chemistry with Matt Ryan. He flashed last preseason or preseason before last and looked like he could be an offensive weapon. So it's like, hey, I like it. Let's see what we can do with him. And then this year, I haven't seen him. Have y'all? Man's like, we got people that we just brought in this year that have seen the field before him. So this guy, Chris Rowland, I don't think he's really going to make it. It was mentioned in the early parts of camp. It's like, hey, he's showing out. He might make the roster. But when he got on the field, he just doesn't have the size. He's a tiny guy. He's not going to be able to make it against the NFL level corners out there. So I think half of like you guys have said, half of our wide receiver room aren't going to make it. And then
I will say though, his returns have been very underwhelming. Like he'll get the ball, he'll bring it out and then get it to 15. Like, bruh, like why did you even bring that out?
He was taped up one time too, and you hear him, and he's like, and he gets tackled, and he goes, dang, and he gets up, and you hear Falcons start the drive at the 14. You're like, you ran really hard just to get to there. Just lets you know how fast our starters, like real NFL players, are.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And there was one more. Where'd it go on my list? It's Darren Hall. Darren Hall, I think, is a guy that, because of the way Avery's played and because of the way the way he fits in. I know we drafted him this year, so he might be more of like a roster bubble / practice squad type of guy. But he's someone that hasn't really shown up too much on the tape for me. he looks like he needs some time. So out of all those guys I've listed, is there anyone on that list that you want to keep or, have any more to say? Or is there another someone that you want to bring up? Let's go with Micah first.
So Bullard, I'm torn. Maybe because he has had some flashes of good, and Darren Hall would be another one. But I mean, like Darren Hall is a practice squad. I'd probably practice squad him because he's not ready, but there is some talent there that you could potentially mold. He just needs work. And like I said, Bullard, possibly, but a faint possibility because we do have a lot of bodies at that spot. So
yeah, and apparently Grady really likes him. Marco, who do you got anybody that you want to add in?
Yeah, I think Darren Hall out of them should probably be given, the most leeway, practice squad guy or, maybe bubble. But, I think this Dwayne Johnson Jr. guy does this thing with his eyebrow. I think this guy has a lot of potential. Just wait and see. No, but definitely Darren Hall out of that list.
Yeah. I'm kind of with Micah. I kind of like Bullard. I like wait he's at. I'd like to see him on the roster. Plus, he's got 5 years in the league. He's been in this Dean P system. I really like him. So I think he'd be a good addition for us. Also, we cut a couple players, as I mentioned earlier. We cut Javian Hawkins, Sharif Miller, Olives, I'm going to mess his name, Sagapolu, Austin Trammell, and Willie Wright the other day to get down to the requirements. So
Javian Hawkins, it was one play that got Javian Hawkins cut. And even the announcers acknowledged it. So he hit the hole perfectly, gets to the open field, and there's a guy behind him to the left, and there's another guy behind him to the right. And instead of turning and putting his head down and just running, he's sitting there like trying to stutter step, like he's trying to put a move on him, and then both of them wind up catching him and tackling him. And there was like, bro, you got to put your head down and go right there. You're thinking too much. Like you're just anticipating for these guys to run you down instead of just turning on the speed. So what happens? They bring in Caleb Huntley the next play, and Huntley breaks like a 20-something yard touchdown. And it was like, if you had just done that, you might have scored. But you were so busy worried about getting caught that you wind up getting caught.
Maybe he was so worried though because he doesn't have that speed.
Well, he showed it in college that he had
bro,
that long.
He's a small back. He honestly is the really only small back that we had, and he was a speedster in college. So if anything, you should have just been like, all right, I'm gonna run as fast as I can, and if these guys catch me, they catch me. Instead, he's like, it's like he's literally just like, oh, they're too close. What do I do? What do I do? It's like,
and Caleb Huntley
cut.
Caleb Huntley actually showed some surprising speed too on that. Like, so they were like, look, if you're not faster than him, he's got 30 pounds on you.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
What do we need you for?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, bro. I think that's about right. So we're about to get into the continuation of our roster breakdown here, and today we're going to be talking about a group that we really talked about a lot already, and it's mainly our receivers. So not just wide receiver though. I threw in the tight ends into this group because in this day and age, tight ends are used as receivers mainly, and especially with some of the ones we have. So we're going to get into that. You guys want to take a quick break and then come in and do it, or you want to knock it out now?
Knock it out.
All right, cool.
Let's knock it out.
All right, so let's talk about the skill groups, and you could throw running back in there as well, but we're going to save them for next week because that's a special group that I really want to talk about all by themselves. So we'll start off with the number one guy in the room, and that is, even though Marco thinks he hasn't proven it yet, that's Calvin Ridley. ladies and gentlemen. This is the man who went down to Miami with a Pro Bowl level cornerback on one side and a former Pro Bowl cornerback on the other, and made them look silly all week long. It was reported everywhere by Miami Twitter pages, by Miami reporters, by Miami sports pages, all over, that Calvin Ridley looked like the best player on the field that entire joint practice. And he was making people look dumb. And as we saw the jump from year 1 to year 2, and we saw all that work he was putting in on his route running and his quickness and his hands in general, Calvin Ridley is about to make that same type of jump from year 2 to year 3 and really just show out what he's supposed to be in this new Arthur Smith system. Last year, he posted career highs of 90 receptions on 143 targets, a 63% catch rate with 1,374 yards and 9 touchdowns. And he's about to improve on that, ladies and gentlemen. At least that's my opinion. I'm really excited for Calvin this year. I've been telling everyone that as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be in a top 3 fantasy wide receiver, just because all the targets he's going to get and what the system's going to do for him. So I think we got a number 1 stud there. Guys, what do y'all think Calvin's got? And we'll save Marco for last on this. Micah, do you agree that Calvin's about to be that number 1 stud for us?
Calvin will probably get Michael Thomas number of targets this year. However, my fear for Calvin is that because there's no major threat that teams respect on the opposite side of the field, he's going to draw so much bracket and help coverage that it's going to make it harder for him to get open. He's going to have to work a lot harder to get open this year. Versus he had a lot of man-to-man coverage, which he is dangerous, but he's going to draw a lot of safeties, even potentially a linebacker underneath with the safety and the damn corner on the outside. So he's going to draw a lot of coverage. So he's going to have to work a lot harder to get open. So that's going to be the challenge for him this year. That's what I think.
Marco, tell us why you don't think Calvin Ridley's ever proven he's been a number 1.
Because he hasn't. I mean, he's never had to be a number. You're using evidence from a 4-12 season to say that this dude's been a number 1. I mean, he hasn't been a number 1 yet. Like, that's just
what does your record have to do with being a number 1?
And I'm not saying, I didn't even say that he hasn't proven it. I'm just saying he hasn't been it yet. So I'm not saying that he's not capable. He just hasn't. So the fact that I mean, and then even to go, obviously, and he's not going to be able to just go one-on-one like he did. And, obviously no one can cover Calvin Ridley one-on-one. He is that talented. He's a specimen, but that's not what he's going to get to do in games. But I mean, he's going to be our number 1. So, I mean, I don't think there's any debate about that. Like, obviously it's not like Russell Gage is going to suddenly pop up and be more talented than Calvin Ridley. I mean, there's no other option, but at the same time, I mean, I agree with a little bit with Micah said about it's going to be a little tough for him, but I think he has transcendent talent. It's just, I think there's going to be some, growing pains about being really the true number 1 guy that everybody's worried about and everybody's scheming for, because I mean, he got a lot of the benefits of not necessarily being the number 1 guy that, the defenses were worrying about. And that's why Matt Ryan target him like a number 1 when Julio was still here. So it's like, we're going to see, it's going to be growing pains, but I'm not saying he's not capable of being a number 1. I just, have a little apprehension.
Well, let's talk about the guy who is going to be across from him in your traditional set. That's going to be Russell Gage, a guy who came in as a 6th-round pick out of LSU and more talked about for his contributions on special teams when we got him. It's like, oh, this guy's great on special teams. He's a really great gunner. We can bring him in, help there. And then you started seeing him get a ton of targets in preseason. It started to make him get a lot of catches that were pretty nice and very physical catches. That's Russell Gage. This guy really came out of nowhere as far as what he has done in the NFL and what he did last season compared to what he was expected to be in the NFL. I don't think anyone looked at Russell Gage coming out of college and thought this guy can really do some special things at the receiver position. But what he did, and one of the things that he's talked about a lot, is learned how to be a professional from Julio Jones. He soaked in every bit of knowledge that Julio had passed down to him. He listened, he watched how Julio practiced and how hard he worked and how much time he put on the tape, and was like, if this is what I got to do to be in this league and be this good, then I'm going to do it. And he's kept that up since then and has gotten much, much better and has some abilities that really surprise people for his frame. I mean, he'll get up there and he'll go and make some tough catches on some balls that he really has no business catching, in all honesty. He's got some bounce on him. So his best year was last year. He had 72 receptions on 109 targets for a 66% catch rate, 786 yards and 4 touchdowns. I have pretty high expectations for Russell Gage this year. I don't really expect him to be a 1,000-yard receiver just because of some of the guys that we're going to mention later, but I think he's going to be good enough to where teams can't just ignore him and give him one-on-one coverage all the time. He's put in some work this offseason as well and has proven to me that he can be a pro. Proven to me that he at least deserves a spot in the NFL and can probably thrive as a number 2. How do you guys feel about Russell Gage and what he can do across from there? Y'all kind of alluded to it earlier, but are y'all excited for him? Do y'all have any apprehensions about him being your number 2, Marco?
I mean, Russell Gage always struck me as the guy who would make incredible catches when you didn't expect him to. Like he would always be like, oh wow, Matt just, oh wow. Like Matt would throw some crazy ball and then he'd just come down with it, be like, wow, what the fuck? But
that was actually in part due to what he did in practice. And Matt would always talk about he felt so comfortable throwing because he knew he could do it.
Right. But then it's like, Matt, stop throwing crazy balls though. So I am excited to see how he adjusts to being a more normal fix, to being that Calvin Ridley that Matt Ryan over targeted all the time because Julio was covered all the time. So now that his usage rate is going to go up by so much, it's going to be interesting to see. And this is like I'm saying, just same thing with Ridley. It's like they have no choice but to be great. I mean, they're either going to be great or they're going to but like they're going to be forced to be what we want them to be. You know what I mean? He's going to get the targets. So if he doesn't come out as a bona fide number 2 this season, then we probably won't be a very good team.
Micah?
Yeah, I believe he might have, of our receivers, he might have the most pressure on him. I think he now he has to get himself in a position where he has to legitimately be a consistent, reliable option for Matt. And it's not like, when you got Julio and Calvin Ridley on the sides and you're just working in the slot, there's you got low expectation. There's not a lot of expectation. But now he has a lot more expectation. Not even just as a receiver, I mean, as a blocker, there's a lot more facets of the game as a number 2 receiver that you have to be good in. Otherwise, it hurts your team. So I think he has to step up in all facets, and he has to be big for us this year. He has to command respect so that Ridley doesn't just sit there and get double and triple teamed all day, because it's like, oh, we don't fear anybody else. So yeah, I think he has to step his game up.
All right. So this next, I'm about to name a group here next because they're all going to kind of fill a role. And there's no need to really go through them. I'll go through what they've done, but this is a nickel, dime, or a slot receiver / fourth receiver out on the field. They're going to be pretty interchangeable, and they're probably not going to see more than like 20 catches on the season, 20 to 30 on the season if they're doing well. So you got Christian Blake, who set a career high last year, 13 receptions on 22 targets, 72% catch rate for 141 yards, 0 tutties. OZ, 20 receptions for 32 targets, 62% catch rate, 274 yards and 1 touchdown, which Matt Ryan always seems to find him streaking down the field on a perfect dime, 60 yards in stride, even though he couldn't hit Julio that way for some reason. Frank Darby, who was our 7th round draft pick this year, voted to be most jovial in camp and probably the best guy to watch do anything. And his career high at Arizona State University was 31 receptions for 616 yards and 8 touchdowns. Got a lot of work to do to become a real NFL receiver. He seems like a one-trick pony right now. And then the guy that was brought in because he's had experience in the system, Tajay Sharp, career high in his rookie year at Tennessee, where he had 41 receptions on 83 targets, 49.4% catch rate, 522 yards, and 2 touchdowns. None of these guys are going to jump off the page at you. And like I said, are going to be interchangeable between slot / number 4. They're probably never going to be really truly used as a slot guy. So any guys in here that y'all want to talk about or want to highlight before we move on to tight ends?
I just want to say OZ. I want to talk about OZ, Olamide Zaccheaus. He's an explosive receiver. He's shown the speed and whatnot, and he's a small guy. If he could work on his route running and get his hands a little more consistently, he could be a nasty slot receiver. But I mean, we need him to step up, and we need somebody. We need one person. All we need is one person to step up and be that consistent slot option to take a little more pressure off Matt. It give him another reliable option over the middle of the field. So just one.
Yeah,
somebody else.
OZ's kind of like a similar story to what Justin Hardy was, because Justin Hardy was the all-time, receptions leader in the NCAA. It was like, this guy's amazing, going to be a great slot guy. OZ was Virginia's all-time leading receiver, was an excellent receiver for Virginia, and looked really good, but just hasn't really elevated his game to where people thought he would be at this point in his career.
Well, Justin Hardy looked like he was running in quicksand.
Yeah, that's the thing. OZ's got a lot more speed than Justin Hardy did.
Justin Hardy looked like Sanu in those speed drills.
Oh, God. For those of y'all listening or watching, if you still haven't watched that tape of Sanu doing speed drills, go do it. It's worth your time. Well, since you mentioned slot so much, Mike, I want to bring up the reason why I'm not too worried about a slot guy, and that's because
you're not going to ask my opinion.
No, don't care about your opinion. You're here.
Damn, man.
I forgot I didn't ask you.
Shit, man.
Go for it.
No, but
OZ, well, no, I actually posed that as a group thing. I said, "Do y'all have anybody?" And you sat there quietly.
Then Micah took it first. What am I supposed to talk while he's talking?
Yeah.
I actually paused because I didn't know if you were going to say anything.
Yeah, then Ryan jumped right in. He's like, "Oh, actually, I wanted to pose the thing about slots." It's like, damn, I was just laughing at a Justin Hardy joke. Like, yeah, let me laugh for a second.
No, when I asked the question at first, Micah knows what I'm talking about.
No. But yeah, Frank and OZ, I think those two guys, like Micah said, if those two guys can really perfect the art of route running, because I almost feel like Frank is at a place right now where he might be in the wrong places a lot, if we really trust him. But I think those two guys are fast enough to where they could really be threats if they learn just, especially OZ, since he has years under his belt. But Frank, I could see in the future being a useful asset. Everybody else,
Speaking of a guy who got years in his belt, Tajay Sharp is absolute garbage.
He's awful.
Bruh. I mean, it's like his 5th. He's been in the league like 6 seasons. and he's 6'4", but absolutely doesn't play like a 6'4" receiver. It's like
He's
bruh.
very soft.
Oh my god.
All right, so let's now move on to the reason I don't really care about any of these guys playing slot too much. And that's because of the tight ends group and the way we're going to be using them. I've talked about it before. We're probably going to be in lots of 12 and 13 personnel this season where you see, 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends out there, and you're going to see our tight ends used in ways that you're not used to seeing us use tight ends typically here in Atlanta. You're going to see Kyle Pitts moved out wide. You're going to see Hayden Hurst moved out wide. You're going to see them in the slot and doing all those type of things. And you're probably going to see Ridley, Gage, Pitts, Hurst on the field together at once, more than you're going to see Ridley, Gage, whoever one of these 3 or one of these wide receivers that we just talked about, and 1 tight end. Because right now our best receiving threats are Gage and Ridley, and then Hurst and Pitts, by far our best options. So we'll start off with Hayden Hurst, who many of us know from last season. He posted a career high with 56 receptions on 88 targets, 64% catch rate, 571 yards, and 6 touchdowns. You'll probably expect something around there again this season. I don't see him jumping off the page too much from there. And that's because of the second guy we have on this list, and that's Kyle Pitts. As everyone knows, we drafted him number 4 overall this year. He's going to be our X factor. You're going to use him all over the place and see him in all different types of positions. But last year, career high of 43 receptions, 770 yards, and 12 touchdowns. You're going to probably see him in the red zone a lot. And then Lee Smith, who we picked up from Buffalo via trade this offseason. And a lot of people are like, why'd you get him? He's got like 12 catches in his career. That's a dumb trade. But Lee Smith is not here to catch the football. Lee Smith is here to bear attack whoever's in front of him and maul them, because he is a ferocious run blocking tight end. He is probably the best run blocking tight end in the NFL. And that's what he does. That's his job, and he likes doing it. So these guys are going to be minus Lee Smith, are going to be your slots or your slot replacements, or out wide where you move Gage into the slot this year. What do you guys think about this tight end group? Who do you expect to really, surprise people? And how do you think this is going to look by season's end? Micah?
Honestly, I don't think Kyle Pitts is going to surprise people. I think people know full and well what to expect from Kyle Pitts. And honestly, Hayden Hurst too. I think people know that Arthur Smith loves his tight ends and he knows how to utilize them. But I think Hayden Hurst will be more of a surprise, because you will truly get to see how athletic Hayden Hurst is, because Arthur Smith schemes ways to get the ball to their tight ends in their tight ends' hands in ways to really exploit how athletic they are. Look at what he did with in Tennessee with Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith is a freak athlete. He was a guy who was known, like college, for, you put the ball in his hands, he can get you some yards after the catch. And so he found creative ways to get the ball in his hands quickly, screens, little short routes where he could get him in the open field and whatnot. I think he'll do that for both Pitts and Hayden Hurst. And people won't realize, like a lot of people have kind of fallen back off of Hayden Hurst. Even our good friend Brandon has kind of taken jabs at Hayden Hurst because he couldn't climb that depth chart in Baltimore. But I think here in Atlanta with Arthur Smith, you are truly going to see the potential of Hayden Hurst, that explosiveness with that frame, that 6'5", 260 frame with the 4.5 40. Like, you're going to see that in full effect, as well as Pitt's all of Pitt's freakish athleticism as well.
Yeah. I do want to add to that you have 6'4", 260 who ran a 4.65, but actually was the fastest player on the Ravens team the year he left. They clocked him at faster than any other Raven and the wide open that season. And then you got 6'6", 245 who runs a 4.4. Like, have fun. Marco, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think we have the most talented receiving tight end core in the league. So I think that, we talked sort of about how our wide receiver room is weak, but that's because, I mean, we haven't really exploited any of what we were really going to be this season. And I think we have a chance to sort of do something that no one's really seen. If we utilize these pieces that we have, but I'm sure we will. Like, because Kyle Pitts, one thing about Kyle Pitts, man, he needs to find a way to close your mouth, man. Just you walk around with his mouth wide open. It's like, bro, breathe through your nose, man, please. But yeah, I mean, those two, Kyle Pitts could be a monster. We already know Hayden's a monster who was completely underutilized by that guy who used to sit in the booth like this all the time. So, I mean, I think we have a chance to really, I don't know, it could be something extremely special between those two guys. Like, I'm really excited to see how we use those and the productivity between those two.
I mean, it's going to be such a fun season. And I think you're going to see this. It's going to look a lot like the Gronk and what's his name? Aaron Hernandez years of New England, where it's just like, how do we guard both of these guys at the same time? Most of the time they ran out 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and a receiver that could catch the ball. And that's where I'm leading to next, is actually our bonus player for this position group, because he's going to be on this position group and next week's. And that's Cordarrelle Patterson, who is listed as a running back on our team. Really, he's picked up because he's the best kick returner in the NFL right now, but also came into the league as a wide receiver out of Tennessee and is just absolutely a freak athlete at 6'3", 225, and runs around the 4.4, 4.3 speed. I mean, he's just a guy that I am so excited to see what Arthur Smith does with him and moves him. Like, he'll probably come in as your running back at the start of the play, and you'll see him motion out wide. So we're looking at an empty set with Ridley, Gage, Hurst, Pitts, and now Cordarrelle Patterson out there. And it's just like, good luck. I don't know who you're going to cover one-on-one.
You almost slipped up.
Almost got it. Julio.
I could honestly, but I could see some of the stuff that the Patriots did, because I remember like the Patriots do that. They move James White into motion, and then they would rotate Aaron Hernandez into the backfield and hand the ball off to Aaron Hernandez out of the backfield. It was just like, good God, how do you defend this? Like, these players are moving all over the place. Like, what do we do?
Josh McDaniels was like, they'll never know what we're about to do. And you really didn't.
I mean, Aaron and Gronk were also dangerous because they were big brutes with no concern for their well-being like that.
Yeah, I don't think Aaron had much concern for anybody's well-being.
Yeah. Right, so you could hand him the ball and just have him run head first.
And Gronk was like the prototypical Cro-Magnon man.
Right.
Literally.
Football.
Gronk want football.
But like, part of what made Gronk so dominant is the fact that you could just throw it up and he was like, thanks.
Yes. Ball come.
Ball spike.
Gronk smash.
Oh, excuse me, but that pretty much, it does it for the Grits Blitz. That ends our player review, or our position group review for this week. I know we ran a little long, but there's a lot to talk about in football right now, at least for me. So let's take a quick break. We'll get out of here for a couple minutes, and we'll be back shortly. And we're going to talk about, who are you talking about? We're talking about what? Baseball? We're talking about baseball on this show?
Oh.
We're going to talk MLB.
Baseball.
All right, guys, we'll be back in a second. What's up, everybody? We're back. Marco's taking a trip to North Carolina this weekend.
Yeah.
He's going.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
He's going hunting
for cougars.
He's going check hunting. Micah, I've heard you've got something to share with the group.
You know what time it is? It's the Suicide Squeeze, the baseball segment. The baseball segment, the MLB segment of the show right here. There's quite a few things that have happened in these past few days. So, first and foremost, a journalist did a journalist for the USA Times wrote an op-ed in which he essentially claimed that the payroll disparity for the MLB has become laughable, and said and he says that it threatens the integrity of the game. So, and he points out that the Dodgers' $261 million payroll is more than double half of the league's payroll. So 15 teams have pay less than half of what the Dodgers pay their payroll. So do you guys agree with that assessment?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I've got strong feelings on this one. If you want to go first, Mike.
I'll give mine first. Yeah, I mean, hell yeah, man. I've always thought that the Wild West sort of antics of baseball have, are laughable, because I mean, some teams, despite the fact, it's funny though, like I say this about baseball, it's like the one sport where superstars never win and the richest teams don't either. Because you'll get the Nationals come through and win, and just random teams here and there will win. But I mean, obviously the Dodgers do too, but I just think that it's laughable, and they definitely need to do something to just make it so. But then again, if the Braves were out here spending like they should be, I wouldn't be saying anything, but it's still cause for concern.
Yeah. I mean, y'all have heard me talk about this at other times on this show. I absolutely hate the fact that the MLB is just about who can spend the most to be competitive. And it really, it's so annoying because all of the great MLB franchises are just because they're in big cities and they have rich owners and things like that. And if we're being completely honest, the Braves are the best franchise in the MLB, with considering what we've done over the past 30 years and the amount of talent that we've kept on this team and the amount of talent we've just put into the majors because of how good our scouting is and just how the fan loves this team. I mean, the fans of this city or state really love this team.
Not even just the fans. I mean, think about how many, because of TBS, many fans of all over the country grew up being Braves fans.
Yeah,
like
Turner,
like our guy who was just on here the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Turner did an absolutely amazing job in the '90s of making the Braves America's team. Like, so many people wanted to play for this franchise, and the fact that we haven't won more is just in part due to the fact of this stupid ass lack of a rule, really. Because if it was just based upon your franchise bringing these people up and doing like they do in football, you'll get a big free agent every now and then, but you can only get so many because you've got a cap. But the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Phillies try to do it. The Padres are doing it right now. The Red Sox have done. They did it for a while. It's just annoying to be like, yeah, these teams are going to be good because they have way more money than everyone else. Kansas City's never going to compete. Pittsburgh's never going to compete. Like,
Where'd the Padres get all their money from?
They were sold to a billionaire.
Oh, okay.
I forget his name, who it was, but yeah, and also they're just a rich county out there. Like, they got a lot more money.
Yeah.
So I hate it, man. I absolutely hate it. And I could talk forever on this. It has to change. It has to change now. And it's dumb. It cheapens the sport to me. It 100%, who cares? Because Yankee fans are out there like, we're the best. It's like, one, you've been around longer than everyone else, and you spent more money than anybody else. So like, yeah, of course you have the most.
like half of the Yankees championships came when there was like 6 teams in the league.
Right. Like,
and they had literally all the talent. Like every Hall of Famer in baseball played on their team at that time.
Or even like look at the whole Marlins situation, how they were relevant for just a flash because they spent all that money, and then
and can't keep them.
Ever since then it's been like now they're like literally at the bottom of the league intentionally. Just like anytime someone's good, it's like get them out of here. It's like
they're like might as well get something for them instead of just have them walk out the door.
Yeah. No, trust me, I totally agree. I think one of the worst things about baseball is there's no salary cap. Now, I mean, even if they had a soft salary cap, there needs to be some kind of salary cap. The fact that you have a team with like a $30 million payroll and you got a team at the top with a $260 million payroll is absolutely ridiculous. And so like what frustrates, I still remember when I truly first understood the cap and started to hate it. And it was when I started to hate the Yankees. Well, no, it was actually I'd already started hating the Yankees because they kept us from winning championships in the late 90s. But it was when we brought in Teixeira, and Teixeira had that great season for us. And what happened that offseason, he became a free agent, and we could not match what the Yankees were willing to pay for him. Yankees were willing to just throw whatever money he wanted at him, and it was like, no, we can't afford to match it. So it was like, all right, so every year, so it'd be like, all right, bring in Teixeira. Oh, A-Rod, y'all can't pay Alex Rodriguez $250 million contract? Just bring him over here. We got it. And it's just like, bruh. And it's the craziest thing. What I've noticed, the funniest thing is typically the highest payroll in the league, like never wins. Like Marco said, they never win, whether injuries or whatever. It's typically somebody who's like middle of the pack, slightly above middle of the pack, that puts a little money into their roster, but they built the best like team chemistry, and they get hot at the right time. Those are typically the teams that win. Like us last year, we rode that all the way to to be honest, we were a freaking game away from going to the World Series, and one or two injuries here and there wound up costing us, at losing
a couple managerial mistakes.
Yeah. But I mean, ultimately losing Adam Duvall was probably the biggest thing that kept us from going to the World Series last year.
True.
But yeah, I think it does cheapen the sport. You can essentially try to buy a championship. Moneyball exists because of the payroll. And it's like, well, we can't compete because our owner doesn't have the pockets of the Steinbrenners and these teams like the Dodgers and the Padres and stuff like that. So we have to think outside the box just to compete with these guys. And it's the dumbest thing. It's the dumbest thing. A team should not be forced to have to completely think outside the box and go with these unorthodox methods just to be able to compete. Because financially they can't compete. I mean, it's just stupid to me.
Yeah, they need to incorporate some type of better revenue sharing.
Yeah,
because I mean that's the reason. Like if you take all your earnings and throw it at the MLB, and then the MLB says, okay, now the salary cap for this season will be $180 million, and you have to spend at least 120 of this.
Yeah.
Like, that'll work. That'll even it out because then players are like, okay, well, this team has 200 million, they have 200 million. This,
Well, but I do think, I also think part of the problem with that is it has allowed teams, those rich teams, to ridiculously mess up the market as far as paying elite talent. So like you're giving like the Bryce Harper with 13 years, $330 million and stuff like that. If there was a salary cap, those kind of contracts would not exist probably.
Yeah.
And
You couldn't.
so yeah, I mean, so it's just one of those things, just like,
and I mean, it's going to be so disproportionate in order to make a salary cap across the board, $200 million for the teams. The Yankees and the Dodgers are going to be, paying like 65% of that by themselves.
Right. Yeah, I mean, loyalty also struggles a lot in terms of, you get your Mike Trouts and whatnot, but at the same time, it's like loyalty struggles a lot when the Yankees can just come and push. It's almost like you're just breeding your team, your players to go win championships with like the Red Sox or the Yankees or the Dodgers. It's like, oh, our guy finally won one.
Here's the problem with that. Because of the Mike Trout contract is so ridiculous, there's a chance they could lose Ohtani this offseason, because they might not have the money to pay both Ohtani elite money and pay Mike Trout elite money. So you might have to let the hottest guy on your team right now walk because you don't have the pockets to pay both of them, or you pretty much have to dismantle your entire roster and put like all your money together for two players. And it's absolutely stupid. So let's move forward. And on another note, so one of a guy that I've always had a lot of respect for, and I hated him. I hated facing him when he was on the Marlins, but now that he's in the American League, I got a lot of respect for him. Miguel Cabrera recently hit his 500th home run. That's a huge deal. Congrats to him. He's been one of the most consistent best hitters in baseball over the past decade or so. So congratulations to you. All right. Now getting into Braves news. On a more somber note, the Braves snapped their 9-game winning streak with a loss to the Yankees last night.
Ooh.
They lost 5-1. Enoa pitched a solid game, but I think Giancarlo Stanton just destroyed us last night. We couldn't get him out when we needed to. But we need those bats to wake up. And as of right now, they are down 5-3 in the eighth.
Top of the
eighth. Hopefully they can make a little comeback and take that game and split the series with the Yankees, so we can continue to keep ground on the Phillies. Because that's really, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. End of the day, I want the Braves to win the division. That's the biggest picture. That's the bigger picture. Also, so the Braves made a deal to sign they're the first MLB team to sign 2 athletes to an NIL contracts. There's a gymnast from UGA and a Georgia Tech quarterback that they've signed for NIL. They're sponsoring for NIL deals, which is ironic because Freddie Freeman can't get a contract, but we're sponsoring college kids right now. Liberty Media, man. Liberty Media.
That's confusing to me because I was under the impression that these NIL deals were supposed to be like mutually beneficial. Like, say, for instance, I'm a car dealership or I'm a brand and I want this player to, be a rep for me. But what the hell What do they get out of having a gymnast? And what was the other sport?
Georgia Tech football quarterback. Georgia Tech quarterback.
A quarterback. Well, quarterback I can see, but even like a cross sport, what do you really get out of any cross sport college kid sort of repping the Braves? I don't really get that. Like
they want to see a kid in another sport make some money, but they don't.
I mean, other than just like, okay, let's put some money in this kid's pocket. I just don't see the beneficial part on the Braves aspect.
That I don't know, but obviously they don't want to pay Freddie Freeman what he deserves.
Dan's Bay. They're worried. I don't know what they're gonna do with Dan's Bay.
All right, so for the two athletes, the gymnast is named Rachel Bauman, and the quarterback is something Yates.
Jordan Yates.
Jordan Yates.
That TJ's brother?
No, this is this one's black. Yeah, so
I think I understand this.
Okay. The pair will receive stipends, merch, VIP treatment, and
Braves tickets
and commission on tickets sold through their social media.
What? They're gonna sell tickets? Ryan, explain what you understand, because I'm still lost here.
So that shit just threw me for a loop, because at first I was like, this is a PR move. They're trying to look good. They're trying to help out some of these athletes, these local guys, because they're like, we want to focus on local athletes and help the local athletes out. And I think the Braves front office PR department was like, hey, look really good. Like if we went across sports and signed people for, that aren't going to get these NIL deals because they're not big names. Great PR, guys. This would be excellent for this. They did it. But then they were like, what else would be cool? If we use their fame to sell Braves tickets. Win-win, baby! Win-win! And the Braves PR department was like, stamp it, let's go.
That is one of the slimiest things I've ever heard. You have college kids pitching tickets. These are those same jobs that they try to get, like, former athletes to go. Oh, it's a marketing gig. Oh, come over here and sell tickets.
Hey, what? Buy this package of Braves tickets. Right?
I bet you anything they are in some types of like sports management career path. And the Braves are like, look, if y'all do this, we'll sign you to an NIL deal. You'll sell some tickets for us. And then you've already got a year in of being ticket sales, because that's how you get, Marco, we learned that. If you want to get into a sports business, you got to sell tickets for them first.
Right. Because remember, I was about to say that job fair we went to, 90% of those jobs were ticket sales.
That's all it is. And every single person that we talked to there, they were like, yeah, man, I've been doing this for like 4 years. I sold tickets for a year, and now here I am. I'm like, I don't want to sell tickets.
I don't want to sell tickets.
I want to do what you do. I'm too smart to do that.
I could just see these kids scalping. Hey man, I got 2 tickets for you. Hey man, you need got tickets for that game, man. The Nationals coming in this weekend, man. Come on, give me 2 tickets. 2 tickets. Come on, man.
Yeah, you're walking to a game. He's one of the guys standing out in the corner. You're like, Jordan? He's like, no.
Don't you play for them? No. I'm the scalper. So don't these guys have more important things to worry about than trying to hawk some tickets? Like, especially the girl in Athens. She's at a distinct disadvantage to the kid at Georgia Tech. Like, how is she going to sell any Braves tickets in Athens?
What's her name?
Athens
Bauman?
Yeah, Rachel Bauman.
Let me see what her Instagrams are. Let me look at both of theirs looking like, because this could just be
Rachel Bauman with 2 N's and an underscore afterwards.
So she's got 8,800 followers. Cool.
That's it? She's not selling no tickets with 8,800 followers?
Right. So these are all just her friends, and I think I've seen this girl before, actually.
Her friends and coaches.
Right.
You saw her at Kroger. You saw her at Kroger one day.
So 8,800 followers, and then Jordan Yates.
JOR_.
He probably has more.
Jay Yates has 10,000 followers.
Wait, JOR_Yates?
No, it's just Jay Yates is his Instagram.
Or the one oh wait, that might be their Twitter. Never mind.
Yeah. He's got 10,000 followers and followed by Jarrett Jack. Maybe Jarrett Jack will want to go to a Braves game. So,
hey Jarrett, I got a bunch of group tickets on you for sale.
I don't.
It's
I
some
think
alumni.
I think it's a PR move. I still think it's a PR move, especially with those follower counts. They may get a couple and they may get some groups going, but I think the Braves are like, we'll get you into our business too, because I mean, most of the people working in sports are former athletes.
Did you notice that in Rachel's Instagram, it says Braves athlete and has a link to the Braves.com. She has a ticket, a link. What do you call those links when you post links?
Wow. Yeah.
Did you notice
tiny
that?
URLs?
Yeah, like a little voucher link. So I guess if you go here, this is her page. If you go here and buy your tickets, this is slimy, man. I don't like this at all.
Ew, I feel gross.
What was the other one? What was
Jay
it?
Yates. I didn't see it on him. I was on it when you mentioned it.
What is it?
Jay Yates.
Jay Yates.
Ooh, hello, throat.
Yeah. Okay, let's see, 1%. He has 1%. Okay, so he's selling t-shirts.
All right.
He's not worried about that Braves money. She's like hawking.
She's like, I'm about to get my money.
I'm not saying anything more about that, but come on, Braves, do better. Do better.
Hey, said, hey man, we're gonna push these tickets, man. We're gonna push these tickets. Push it. This
little 20-year-old, 18-year-old, 19-year-old girl with the voucher link. Oh my god.
Man, somebody at Liberty Media is like, they got that what's the hustle. Hard.
Wag. No, it's called an affiliate link. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Affiliate link. Affiliate marketing.
Oh man, that's funny.
These dudes getting NILs to affiliate market for the Braves. That's wild.
All right.
Wait, who wrote this? Someone wrote to a tango. Who was he? So Adam Schefter just posted something to his Instagram, and it's a letter. It says, Mr. Adam Schefter, Mr. Field Yates. Hello, gentlemen. I have been a fan of both of your works on the various shows on the ESPN platforms. You both do great work, and I appreciate it. Now, for the informational purposes, I'm a retired radio TV announcer, a commercial voice, and voiceover artist. So I know how to pronounce the words. The problem is, you don't! You regularly and routinely fuck up the name of the Miami quarterback. His name is Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa. Yet you two assholes regularly and continuously mispronounce it. When you say Tua Tagovailoa, there's no tango in his name. And tell that asshole Greeny as well, he's not worth the letter. Continued success.
Tango Valoy. They do say that. They do be saying tango.
Adam Schefter said this might be he said this might be the highlight of the career for Field Yates and me.
Bro, well, you know that's about even with Travis Kelce coming out and just being like, it's actually Kelce.
And they still are calling him Kelsey. It has not changed.
Oh man.
Oh man, I'd love to get a letter like this one day from someone. You three idiots.
All right, so I'll finish off this squeeze with this. Also big news in the Braves. For the Braves is Travis d'Arnaud got a 2-year, $16 million extension. So 2 more years of Travis D. Dude is can rake. Dude can rake. He's a great catcher and he can rake. So, good to see you coming back. Hopefully we can get Freddie paid. Liberty Media, get Freddie paid. You're paying students to hawk your tickets. if you got to, matter of fact, just have Freddie hot tickets too. We'll pay you what you want. Just make sure you
give Freddie an affiliate link.
Hey, Freddie, we really like you and all, and we feel like you have a great impact on this Atlanta market. But I don't feel like you're, you know, there's one more thing that you could do for us. If you really want to show that you're a Brave for life, if you want to show the Atlanta fans how much you love them, because, you know, that's what we really need here with the Atlanta Braves organization. We really need someone that shows the fans how much he appreciates them too. So how about you take this link, put it on your Instagram there, and it'll give all the fans that come there 10% off their ticket. And we'll even give you a little bit of a cut. We'll give you like 10% of all the tickets that you sell,
and an extra stipend.
And then maybe we'll consider signing you.
I cannot believe such a high-profile organization is doing something like that. That's crazy. Who runs their PR team? Probably the same person that runs their Instagrams.
It's the same people we met at the market, that field or that job fair.
Right,
man.
who were in that little tent.
All those people that were like super broed out and were just like, yeah, bro, you want to come work for the Braves? Like, it's the best. And I'm like, whoa, this is the Braves?
I know this super cool chick, man. She's on the gymnast team.
They thought they were the coolest people at that job fair. I was like, you're going to be running this organization one day.
Lord.
Oh man, they're gonna offer Freddie some Freddie Freeman some merch and stipend.
Free jerseys and hats. It's like, I already have those.
I have a jersey. You sell it to other people with my name on it, and that's why they buy it. And you want me to sell tickets? Yeah, you know.
Like my face
Are you
is
really
on
like
the ticket.
Are you really like a Brave for life, though, Freddie? Don't you want more fans? Give them the opportunity to come see you play.
Oh, man.
Don't you like to interact with your fans directly?
I thought, Freddie, we thought that you loved your fans, but I guess we were wrong.
Oh man!
Oh my God!
That concludes the Suicide Squeeze.
Fuck you, Freddie, for not selling me tickets.
Could you imagine the Falcons or the Hawks like approaching some volleyball player? Listen.
Oh man.
We need you to sell some of these tickets. We'll give you a little bit. We'll give you a little bit.
Hold on. I will say this. Of all organizations who've struggled to sell tickets, I would have figured the Falcons would be the first to do it because they like, bro, if you like, they are thirsty for CS for season ticket holders. Like, they are PSLs and season ticket holders. Like I get emails from them like once a week. Please buy our tickets.
It's like, listen, we'll give you a little up front, but you're really gonna have to sing for your supper here. we need you to drive some of these tickets.
That's how we pay you more.
Oh,
Freddie, you want higher salaries? Bring more people to the ballpark.
Bring more people. Oh my God. Okay, so
maybe that's their way to get more money for Freeman's contract. Quick, sign all the college athletes. Who has more than 7,000 followers?
Unbelievable. Anyway,
you can pay your own salary.
Right, you can pay your own salary. It's like, is this a pyramid scheme? What is going on? Have you ever traded Forex?
Oh shit.
Oh man.
Braves MLM.
This is only for winners. You got to be a self-starter.
Oh my God. Next, you're going to fucking see Craigslist ads on, you want to make $1,000 a day, and you're going to go to some shady ass trailer in the middle of a parking lot. And you're like, this isn't what the job description was at all. And it's the Braves.
We need college athletes.
Alex Anthopoulos is going to be there with his feet on top of the desk. Like, so, this job is all about how hard you work. And if you want to get to the top, you can really work hard and get there.
Are you a motivated self-starter? Very competitive.
Highly competitive industry.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry. The Braves, man. The Braves. We go from talking about salary caps.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
Stop calling me Freddie. I don't want Braves to.
Freddie, get out of my DMs, Freddie. I'm not coming.
I don't care how much of a discount I get. I don't want to come.
I'm not coming.
You've called me 7 times this week.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's the hardest I've laughed in a long time. Oh.
No, they didn't. I just can't believe that. Okay.
Hold on, wait.
Now it's time for the layup, aka the finger roll, aka jelly time, aka points in the paint. Oh my God, I'm so mad I have to talk about Kobe after that because oh my God. That was rich. So with Kobe Bryant's birthday being yesterday, 8/23, and today being Kobe Bryant Day, we lost Kobe early last year. I just wanted to get real quick from y'all. What's y'all's like favorite Kobe Bryant memory? Or it doesn't have to be a memory or a moment. It could just be, sort of a feeling of how you feel about him, but just share some Kobe Bryant with me right now.
I'll go. That the play that always sticks out to me was young little fro Kobe, the lob to Shaq, and that his coming out party in those finals, like those playoffs. It was just like, oh my God, you could just see it happening before you. It's like, this guy is going to be so good. And I mean, he didn't fail you. He lived up to every bit of expectation after that, and then exceeded it. And that's the thing about Kobe that, like, I put it in our post. I hated him because he was so good and he would break your heart so many times in ways, and he was just such an asshole about it. But like, you had to love him because you watched him go from like this kid coming out of high school to literally the best player in the NBA, like hands down, the best competitor, the just fierce competitor. And it was so cool to watch. Like, that was the moment that stuck out to me. And that's the memory I have of him, of just like how probably the one of the athletes I respect the most as far as his willingness to just give up everything else just to be the best in the world.
Michael. So I actually have 3. So, and I'll make them quick. First one was the All-Star game versus where he was going one-on-one with LeBron, and LeBron passed the ball off. He's like, bro, what you pass it for? Like, nah, we gonna do this one-on-one. Like, bro, why you passing? Nah, don't like you. He just looked at him like, oh, you gonna get this work. You gonna get this work. So then the second one was Imaj Shumpert's story about Kobe was crazy. He said Imaj Shumpert was like, yeah, man, I had like 4 steals that game. Then going into the fourth quarter, Kobe just looked and was like, you had a good game. We still got a whole quarter left. Next thing you know, 3 straight buckets back to back to back. Like, oh, well, yeah, this was over. He said, I think D'Antoni called timeout. Look, he was like, bro, I don't know. Like, I had him. I don't know what happened, bro. He just turned it on. And then the last one, it was like commercials. He was so funny in commercials. Like the one with Jalen Rose, the 81 Olives was hilarious. And then the one with Kanye West, more. More. What the fuck are you talking about, Kobe Bryant?
That's one of the best lines ever from a commercial.
So yeah, those are the three things that always stand out to me about Kobe.
All right, so for me, I know like the Mamba mentality was sort of just like Jordan's mentality rebranded, but I think he just took it to a whole nother level with the way he would even make his face. And it was just like he went into this mode where it's like, oh my God, this guy is a killer. And not just a killer, he's a psychopath. It's like he really wants it. Another one is that when they went up 2-0 in the finals, and they were asking him like, "Oh, are you satisfied?" And he was just like, he did that thing where he sucked his teeth. I don't know what there should be satisfied with, but just that whole attitude. And then lastly, just like you said, you alluded to his commercials, like the person he was off the court, like that you didn't really start seeing until his career was over. I know literally the day before, the news came out that he passed, I was watching an interview of him. I think it was with Derek Jeter or something? Some interview that he did with Derek Jeter. And I was just listening to him talk, and I was like, man, we're so lucky that this guy is still here and that he has such a brilliant mind. And I was just like, I'm so excited to see all the stuff he's going to do in his life, just because he's so brilliant, and the way he thinks about things is just he's so calculated and calm, but like understanding. But obviously, the next day, it was a coincidence that it was literally the next day that I woke up and saw that. But yeah, those are my Kobe Bryant memories. And rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. It is crazy though that his birthday ended up being the day before his like official holiday, the 8/24 day. Yeah. I wonder if he ever like knew that. But anyway, moving on. So as I was doing my research for this show, on Twitter, I saw Rich Paul's name trending. So I went ahead and clicked on it. And it turns out that Nerlens Noel, the guy who was pretty much just what do you call a person who's annoying? Just like a
pest.
A pest, yeah. There's a word I was looking, an irritant. He played the irritant role in that New York series the whole time. Didn't really offer much skill wise, or he's just a big tall guy who would push right. People. But I found out that he is suing Rich Paul for a big lawsuit, and it stems back to 2017 when Noel was allegedly told by Paul at some party that he was $100 million man. Come on, man. And this led him to turn down a 4-year, $70 million deal that was on the table with Dallas at the time. And not only that, but he dropped his agent and he joined Clutch Sports. However, after that, he was injured the following season and his value plummeted. I never really knew he was valued that high. But then Rich, after that fact, didn't do much to strategize with him ways that he could sort of get back up to the heights at which he had originally projected, or even the ones that he turned down. So instead of that, he spent the last couple of years signing 1-year deals worth $5 million or less, until leaving Clutch in December 2020, claiming he heard Paul had a history of mismanaging and ignoring other clients and costing them significant money, and that he only focused on his marquee clients, leaving guys like Norris Cole and Shabazz Napier feeling neglected. It's just funny. Those are the names they mentioned. So I want to ask y'all, who's in the wrong here? Should Nerlens ever have believed he was $100 million player? And is this LeBron's fault somehow?
I think Mike and I are going to have very similar takes on this.
Go ahead.
So one, that's what all agents do. They shine the shoes of their big money makers, because the money they make is the money the agent makes. So it doesn't help your case when Nerlens Noel, Norris Cole, and Shabazz Napier are your 3 complainants
Right.
All three are guys that came out and people were like, oh, these guys are going to be good. And then they weren't. And now they're just those guys that people are like, yeah, he might be a good like 7th or 8th guy on our team. He might provide a scoring spark here and there, or he might be able to just play defense and block shots. We could use a guy like that for sure. But there's none of them are a guy that a team's going, man, we really we need to figure out how we're going to sign Shabazz Napier this year. Because we could really use a guy like him. And I don't want to hear it from any of them on, it's the agent's fault. Seth Curry went from a spot-up shooter to now a guy that teams like, we would really like to have Seth Curry on our team. So it's about the work you put in. Stop whining. It's not your agent's fault that you didn't get that deal. Yeah, even if he did say that you need to have a reality check yourself, Nerlens Noel, you didn't put the work in. So shut up.
My God.
My first question is, did Rich Paul have a sit-down talk with Dennis Schroeder this offseason as well?
Yeah, Rich Paul was the one on this.
You a max player, man. You a max player.
LeBron tells him, call certain players and tell them they're worth $100 million.
go for the max, man.
This will be funny. Watch.
So yeah, I can't rock with Nerlens on this one. I mean, I get it. You hear that, and your ego is what costs you that money, because you allowed an agent to fill your head up and make you think that it's like, bro, what did you do at that point in your career that made you think that you were legitimately worth $100 million? And not to mention, in a league that was changing away from a traditional big to more versatile big, more like positionless basketball. What made you think that your game was that valuable to be worth $100 million? Then you came off injury and we're expecting that kind of deal. Like, bro, what reality do you live in? I mean, I get it. Essentially, bro, your ego is your worst enemy in that situation. And like Ryan said, when you're using guys like Norris Cole, who I didn't even know was still in the league,
I don't think he is.
Yeah, and Shabazz Napier as your character witnesses, essentially. Like, bruh, at least if you had said Seth Curry, Tim Hardaway Jr.
Right. Some respectable second tier players, yeah.
Yeah, then it'd be like, okay, yeah, I can see that. But bro, you use dudes who were buried on depth charts.
They'd be like Kent Bazemore, using Kent Bazemore as an example.
What's his name? Torian Prince. Torian Prince, man. What was the guy here for Bembry?
Bembry.
DeAndre Bembry, man.
He don't get no attention from his agent. Like, what? He's lucky he even has an agent.
You're lucky you're still in the league, bro. Right. You shoot 45% from the free throw line and wonder why teams don't want to pay you nothing. I mean, bro, it's just, Nerlens, sorry, bro. Your ego, you're gonna have to eat that L, bro. Just hold the L, because you allowed your head to be blown up. Somebody blew smoke and you just sat there and just drank it all up.
Smoked all that kush.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, I'm $100 million. I'm $100 million big.
He probably went home and told his friends.
Let's see. Let me get you this. So Norris Cole in the Euro League is averaging 16.6 points per game. So not even elite in the Euro League. And
that's what I was about to say. That's not that good for him.
And then Shabazz Napier.
I think he's still in the league.
Yeah, he's on the Wizards.
Wizards.
Hey man, that's a good agent. He's still getting them contracts. Like what? What is he mad about?
Or he was on the Wizards in 2019.
Oh
yeah. So he ain't in the league no more.
He plays in St. Petersburg.
Wow.
There's a team in St. What's
that?
Yeah,
there's
Is that G League or
no? It's VTB United League, and they also play in the Euro League.
I might bet he's balling over there. Does it say his stats?
I can't find those. Let's see. VTB.
He seemed like the kind of player who go over there and ball.
He need to just go ahead and play for the big three.
Right. Yeah. Just
that's your best bet.
Yeah. I can't find any immediately, but if I find it, I'll let you know.
All right. Well, yeah, anyway, I honestly, the way I look at this, Rich Paul didn't even really lie to him, because if he would have taken that 4-year, $70 million deal, he would have been $100 million player within the next contract. But his dumb ass decided that, because I understand he should have taken the deal, then fired his agent and got with Rich Paul. Don't turn down the deal and put all the weight on Rich Paul to get you a better one. It's like, what are you thinking? It's like he just completely mismanaged that. And yeah, man, he didn't work on anything. He didn't really add anything to his game to be like, to even like warrant a long-term deal. That's why he keeps getting 1-year deals. But I mean, he
still doesn't have a handle, still doesn't have a shot.
Still has nothing, right? He's just an irritant, a guy rebounder, and a kid, not even a great shot, not even a good shot blocker. He's an okay shot blocker. Yeah. Like
weak side guy. He's like Chris Anderson was.
Right. I would say Chris Anderson was better than.
Nah, it's funny. It's funny. He is a poor man's Dwight Howard, essentially.
Shit, yeah, he wishes he was in the same
right.
as Dwight Howard.
Poverty-stricken.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was like
even then.
As far as like the bully, like legitimately, all he did was push people around like Dwight Howard did.
Right.
The only difference, Dwight can block shots and rebound, but all like literally their only contribution was pushing people and knocking people to the ground.
I mean, only Coach Tibbs would find a place for a player like that. Like, I mean, he turned Joakim Noah into an all-star. So, I don't know. But anyway, do you guys think he has any chance in this case? Just as a final, real quick, yes or no?
No.
Hell no. All right, so real quick, I didn't really write it down, but we can talk just to get your opinions on it. So yeah, Sonia Curry has went ahead and filed divorce from Dell after 33 years of marriage. 33 the same year. I guess they conceived Steph Curry, not Seth Curry. So I just want to know from y'all, does this at all sort of tarnish the image of that perfect Curry family? Christian Curry, all this kind of stuff to y'all, or big deal, no deal?
Not a big deal to me. Not in 2021. You've been married that long. You put out children. You've done your job. But like your life changes when you have children and for that long. And when it gets back to being, and especially the wife of a man who was constantly gone and was raising those kids probably by herself a good bit, or with the help of, their basketball camps, and dedicating your whole adult life to make sure these kids are going to become what they are now. Like that takes a lot of time. And so, probably they were like, it was a good run. Let's have fun by ourselves now. Divorce that shouldn't tarnish your image of anybody.
Right. I'm sure they're still friends. What do you think, Micah?
Wait, did he do something?
No,
we don't know yet.
Not that I know of. But two things I'll say. No, because it wouldn't necessarily tarnish my image, especially unless she was out here doing, Larsa Pippen type things. And, then it'd be like, oh boy. But not so. I don't think so with that. But
so you're saying if within the next year she's like dating a rapper, you'd be like, yo, what the hell's going on out here?
That'd be the most wild turnaround for her image.
Well, unless that rapper was something like
Drake,
Russell Simmons.
Drake is already licking his chops.
Yeah. No. If something like Drake, then yes, it definitely. But if it's like Russell Simmons, then it wouldn't bother me as much because it's like, all
Russell
right,
Simmons.
at least he's about that age. But honestly, I the thing that affected that image more than anything was damn what's her name?
Aisha.
Aisha complaining that she doesn't get enough attention from dudes,
Right.
and it's just like, wait, what?
What?
like you literally are married to a man that almost any guy would like die to switch places with, and it's like, I don't get enough attention from other dudes. Yeah, because they respect your husband. Like that was a bigger hit to that image than them getting a divorce, in my opinion.
Yeah.
No one dislikes Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I agree with that. I almost even like the way that they've handled it. Like, because apparently they've been looking for this divorce since June. And I wouldn't be surprised if, even if it were maybe Sonya or someone who, blah, blah, blah. I think the way they sort of handled it, it just makes it, very nice and tidy and like, okay, yeah, we're just, amicable split. So hopefully we never find out too many of the details about what led to this breakup. And it's just like okay, yeah, like you said, 33 years, we, blah, blah, blah. We've grown tired of each other. The intimacy's gone. Let's just, try it on our own. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't think it really hurts until, like you said, she starts dating Drake or or he's out here, or if he's out here with Insta Thotty and he ends up on a PJ Washington deal.
Wait, who's Steph Curry with the shot? That's Drake, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy, that meaning, or that lyric would have to take on a whole new meaning if he started dating.
Boy, no, or worse, if you see her with Future like Larsa Pippen,
right?
Sensational.
Sensational, right? Hey man, I know people plotting out here, and I just hope I hope she takes some time to herself and doesn't just jump right back out here. But she's a respectable woman, so hope for the best.
Quick update.
Yep.
The Braves are down to their last out with one man on, down 5-3. We're pinch hitting Adrianza right now.
Come on, bomb.
So if he could do something and just get it around at the top of the lineup,
we can tie it up.
Well, we can tie it up right now with a bomb, or we could take the win if we get her over to the top of the lineup.
Top of the lineup, yeah.
Okay.
What's what happened?
Okay, so next I'll throw this one in next, just since it's of the same vein. So basically, a lot of this stuff about PJ Washington, it was actually it's been here for some weeks, but we haven't really talked about it, so we'll bring it up now. It's so basically PJ Washington got Brittany Renner, who's like one of the first big Instagram models.
Thoughts.
You said what?
Thoughts.
Hell, you don't got to use disparaging words here, man.
I'm
one of these Insta thotties. Was one of the first ones to sort of come to prominence, and obviously she's a lot older than he is. I think she might be in her 30s. He's young. Just came into the league, and he got her pregnant. They broke up, and now she is seeking child support for the upcoming child, or I'm not sure if the child's born already.
She got it.
Already, yeah.
It's already out here.
He can't see it.
It's in the world.
Bro, $200,000 a month.
We'll get into that. So yeah. PJ Washington makes $2.4 million a year, right? On his rookie deal, and she's going to be getting $200,000 of that a month. So, I think his contract was what, 4.6 million,
I think he said he's take home about 3. So
after taxes, that's like less than she's going to be taking from him. How in the world? So basically, this title, it says Brittany Renner scams athletes for easy pay because they don't wear condoms. NBA Twitter wildly speculates that blah, 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 blah. So we already saw that. My question for y'all is that what kind of lawyers does PJ Washington have where he's probably going to give up more than half of his salary to this woman a year, where Dr. Dre is a billionaire and got only $100,000 more than this guy a month in child support. What kind of lawyers does he have?
Well, the $200K thing has been debunked.
Oh, what is it?
They're not revealing it, but it's not that.
Oh, okay.
It's not that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what's the name? Spousal. That was spousal support, which is worse. Which is worse than child support.
But still, $1 billion.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I get it. But the downside with spousal support is if she never gets married again, he has to pay that. He has to pay.
Right. It said either death or marriage is the only way to get out of that deal. So if we don't have an actual figure on this, then maybe his L is not as bad as it seems at first, but still, man, just as we alluded to earlier, man, you got to protect your seed. Women, I mean, I guess sometimes enrich your womb.
5 figures a month is still way too much. I mean, Jesus, like $5,000 a month is $60,000 a year. That's more than most people make working a normal 9 to 5. So, like, you know,
that's why she don't F with no normal dudes.
I mean, honestly, he plays for Charlotte, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan should have taken him under his wing, said, "Young man, don't do that."
Right. Well, Michael married the first woman he got pregnant. So hey.
True, but that's somebody in that organization. Goodness gracious, Terry Rozier, do something useful, because you damn sure don't do it on the court. Help this man out.
Right. I mean, PJ is good enough, but you know, at first I was worried about him because it's like he's not. I don't know if he's good enough to get that much more money than he's already making. So I don't know. It's gonna be tough for him going down the line.
I mean, he'll get more, but
yeah, he might get one of those $18 million deals or something like that. But okay, moving on. The NBA, the 2021-22 schedule is back to normal. There will be 82 games again per team. Opening night is the 3rd Tuesday of October. The regular season is going to end in mid-April. The finals are in June. The Raptors are in Toronto. It's funny they added that. It says on average last season, teams played 15.2 back-to-backs. So more than 21% of their 72 games came without rest the day prior. This season, teams will average 13.5 back-to-backs with no rest games. The second of the back-to-backs, accounting for less than 17% of their 82 game schedule. Wait, there's one thing I saw about the Hawks that I wanted to say. Where's this thing at? Go ahead, you talk while I look.
Quick question. Has LeBron complained about the schedule yet? Man, no. we should be starting in January, because I didn't get enough time in the off season to recover.
He's been harping about that damn how they're the oldest team and how he's like washed king, and like I'm starting to get annoyed with that. Like, shut up, LeBron. Shut up.
The wash king thing is like, bro, no one's ever underrated you. No one's ever said you were the underdog in your entire career.
False narrative of everyone's like he's washed.
Even now with his veteran, ARP card team, they're still saying he's going to make the finals. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Outside of Skip Bayless is the only one. He's like, he's terrible. He's washed.
Man, we'll have plenty of time to talk about that squad though. But I mean, yeah, it's crazy, man. He's just, even like when KD had his amazing game and he was like, oh, he put a negative light on it. It's like, you never know. But you better enjoy it while it's here. It's like, bro, why are you talking about yourself? Like, LeBron is such a narcissist.
The Hawks go to the Eastern Conference Finals. This whole playoffs is invalid.
Right. But we don't want to talk about his bubble championship, though. Well, anyway, so what I wanted to get to here was the Pistons have the biggest differential between their number of rest advantage games and rest disadvantage games. So I guess that's a positive thing. So the Hawks are 13 rest advantage games versus 9, which is the most in the league, I think. Wait, let's see. Wait. Detroit have 12 back-to-backs, but for the second game of those 12, their opponents will have rested. So, okay, that's what that means. So we have, does that make sense, Danny? Yeah.
We have 13 games where we're going to be going in with more rest than the other team versus 9 games where we're at the disadvantage of having less rest than the team.
Okay. Then it's next is the Pelicans with 11-7, Pacers 14-11. And then on the other side, which is not favoring them, is the Spurs, who are 9-13, the Nuggets, who are 9-12, Blazers 8-11, Hornets 11-14, Timberwolves 8-11. Why are they punishing Timberwolves? It's like y'all are already trash. Let's make sure y'all stay that way. Orlando Magic, damn, another team. They are dooming some of these teams. They're at 9-12. So I want to ask y'all, do y'all think that this obviously the quality of this season sort of suffered in the regular season? Obviously the postseason was probably one of the best we've seen in a long time. But the regular season sort of suffered. Do you think this will sort of bring it back to considering how good that postseason was and all this young talent? Do you think this might be one of the better NBA seasons we've seen in a while?
Yeah, I think it could be. However, I think that LeBron will complain about something. Man, this season is unfair for us for the old teams. We should have no back-to-backs. And, we should not be forced. Matter of fact, our whole team should be able to decide to sit out and still.
It's like, LeBron, you realize there's a collective. That's the funny thing about all his complaining. Is like he complains about stuff knowing that he signed a collective bargaining agreement. And if they didn't do what it says, they're not getting paid. So he's such a boy who cried wolf.
Don't mention that part that I signed it to.
Right. What you think, Ryan?
I don't think it's gonna. Oop! What just happened? Bases loaded.
Let's go.
Grand slam, hit it in the game.
Soler is up. So.
Oh.
Right. He got the pop for it, but he also swings it a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to affect it that much. These guys are. I felt like the whole injury thing last year, and LeBron talking about that, was overblown anyway. Like, injuries happen. Sometimes they happen in seasons more than they don't. It's so random. And the whole like rim resting, I get it, but recovery is a million times better now than it was even 5 years ago. Like, recovery is absolutely insane, and the things that these athletes do for their bodies now helps them recover so much more. And soft tissue injuries happen; they just do. Yeah, like, rest does help a little bit, but these guys aren't like, this isn't their first year doing this. Their bodies are pretty acclimated to it, so it just happens, man.
Do you think it's just going to be sort of business as usual? You don't think
business as usual? I don't think it fell off that much last year. I think that COVID fucked everybody up as far as like just that being away and all that type of stuff, and it took them out of their rhythms. They didn't get as much practice, but I don't think it was
the schedule. So you're saying it's more it was more COVID than the schedule.
It was being isolated, not being like there. I don't know if you remember those clips where Kevin Durant was like in his room. He's like, I haven't played basketball in 27 days.
Right.
He's like, this is the weirdest thing ever. So
yeah,
he's got one of the little hoops on the back of the door. He's
legit. He was like, I'm just playing 2K, and
that's a good take though. That you'd think one of the players would like, or someone like LeBron would have made. It's not necessarily the scheduling. It's more the COVID aspect that could have led to a lot of these soft tissue injuries and things like that. That's right. A good point. So just to wrap it up there, I wanted to point out that the back-to-backs have actually gone down, but they're not less than they were pre-COVID. So in 2019, 2020, there was 371 back-to-backs. In 2018, 2019, it was 398. This season, there will be 406. In 2017, there was 433. Back in 2014, there was 580 back-to-back.
Yeah, so like
I wonder what the number was in like the 80s and 90s.
Probably like all the like every game.
Let's go to this schedule. Come on, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. And especially in the playoffs, they were not playing about that. They were trying to get that thing over with.
We play all 82 games in 3 months. We have 90 days to play 82 games. Let's go.
And then lastly, they will bring back the little series kind of thing where teams play each other like back-to-back games.
I don't
which
know
I
how
wasn't
much
a
I
huge
like that.
fan of. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, but whatever. It is what it is. Only a couple more things. So the Celtics announced they plan to retire Kevin Garnett's number 5 jersey. And I just want to ask y'all, is it a little weird that they do this before the team that he kept relevant for a whole decade, who have only retired 2 jerseys, one being Flip Saunders, who didn't wear a jersey?
There's a reason Kevin Garnett didn't really like Minnesota when he left. There was a rocky relationship there for a while, and they had to fix it, and then he came back.
Right.
So no, it's not that weird, man.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's Minnesota. Nobody cares. Honestly, half of that team, outside of Karl Anthony Towns, I had forgotten D'Angelo Russell was up there. It's just like it's the place where players go to just kind of vanish.
It's the Detroit of the NBA. It's the Detroit Lions of the NBA.
Their owners are like, "Oh shoot, we forgot to put old Kevin up in the Raptors, don't you know?"
They beat us to it, don't you know?
Nah, the funny thing is, you know, the Raptors have like this turn the G League player into the NBA starter. Up there, it's like, hey, let's see how many star caliber players we can just make disappear.
Turn into bench players. How many top 5 picks can we turn into bench players? But yeah, Minnesota needs to stop playing around. And they literally, I know they haven't been good enough to really retire anybody, but if anybody, it should be Kevin Garnett. Like
him and Wally Zerbiak.
Wally Zerbiak and Troy Hudson. Hell no, just Kevin Garnett.
Full count.
It is funny though that when this got announced, Kevin Garnett posted a photo of, it was supposed to be him, Rondo, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, but he cropped out Ray Allen. They need to get Kevin and Ray Allen to do one of those sit downs with like Isaiah and Magic.
That'd be hilarious. Did y'all see the Draymond KD, or is that one out yet?
Yeah, I saw it. It was pretty good. It was a little quick. Draymond's sort of cadence for interviewing is really rapid, but I think I was gonna bring that up just because he sort of blamed the split of the team on the Warriors.
Kerr and what's his name?
Yeah, because the way they handled it, they were trying to like tiptoe. He said the energy just changed after that, and everybody was trying to act like it didn't happen. And he was like, "This is weird. I'm getting out of here." But to me, in my mind, I'm like, that should have been Curry, who walked up to both of them and been like, "What the hell's wrong with y'all? Stop acting like little bitches." Like, but you know, so that's obviously not his demeanor or personality. So what happened?
5-4. He walked a run in.
Okay, let's go. All right, so just
you know who's up to bat?
Freddie Free.
You better earn them that pay there, Freddie. Otherwise, it's 7,000 more tickets for you.
Get to sell it.
Stop. Okay. So the Hawks, a little Hawks talk. Bleacher Report just released a list of the top 10 young cores in the NBA. And the Hawks, not surprisingly, came in at 1. Celtics 2, Pelicans 3, Grizzlies, Suns, Nuggets, Mavericks, Hornets, Knicks, Rockets, in that order. Which is funny that after not even ranking Trae Young as a top top 15 player under 25, they want to suddenly come and say we have the most promising core. How y'all feel about Bleacher Report in there trying to make up for lost time?
Bruh, I said it. I said the funniest thing about us going to the Eastern Conference Finals is all of this hate and like just kind of don't this apathy, this apathetic attitude towards the Hawks. No, it's the Hawks. No,
Right.
they're not that good.
They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose this one.
Yeah,
They're gonna lose.
And like everybody finally just saw like, oh wow, this team is actually good. We didn't see this one coming. So it's crazy. I now they can't help but to show respect to the Hawks because the Hawks did so much and they proved so many people wrong. They shut a lot of these naysayers up. So yeah, now I mean, how can you ignore what they've done? I mean, Trey, Cam, the way Cam came in, where Cam came out the gate on fire in that game 6 against the Bucks. I mean, Reddish, Collins, DeAndre Hunter, it's so many promising young players on this team. And it's like all of these draft picks are starting to develop and you're starting to see like, wow, we slept on them, but Atlanta quietly has been building a damn good team over there. So
Travis Schlenk don't miss, baby. Travis Schlenk don't miss.
He's Steph Curry with the shot, boy.
Man, I'm telling you, like, I'm gonna say something that I've thought of for a while. This is Bleacher Report coming back and going, oh yeah, crap. I guess we really didn't know too much about this team, and trying to cover up their fact that they're not the most informed people on this without doing that. Because when that happened, people are like, Hawks, Trae Young.
Yeah, right.
Did you if you read the comments, you're like, what? So, the best thing about Bleacher Report on their app is to get on there and use it as a stream to look at all of their tags. So that what they do is they grab like all Braves tags, and you'll see all relevant tweets about that team from writers in that area and fans and things like that to get good opinions. Their articles,
man,
it's okay. Lefko, one of the best things to ever come out of them, but he's exceeded them and on to better things. Like, they still have Sims. Like, he's okay.
Yeah, he's okay.
But I mean, their guys are just okay at what they do. So I think that's a little what this is.
Right. They're just late to the party.
Right. Like, oh yeah, we knew about Trey the whole time.
Right. Like clearly. Like that was still unbelievable that he was not on that initial list. But anyway, last thing about the Hawks. So Nick Van Exel was hired as the assistant coach on the Hawks. So I just want to ask y'all quickly, what type of thing do you think this young team can pick up from Nick the Quick, who was sort of a malcontent during his NBA career?
Ooh,
go ahead.
His high socks. Next question.
Bruh, I'm honestly, the player I want to see get with Nick Van Exel a lot is Sharif. I think Sharif could learn so much from Nick Van Exel. The way he plays, this just the size, everything about his game, Sharif could learn from, and really just cleaning. I mean, Sharif is a very good prospect. He just needs to clean up the turnovers. But I think working with Van Exel could really help him out.
Yeah, in all seriousness, is like the guards. 100%. I don't think Trey can take too much from him. Maybe some situational things and how to play better, the mental game. But Trey is already far better than Nick Van Exel ever was.
Right.
So, guard, he can definitely help with the guards and the game between the ears.
Yeah, I think it's great to just have Nate. I feel like you have two of the very different guards in your coaching staff now, or two very different point guards, because Nate was more of a defensive stopper, not really a scorer, more of a facilitator, stopper, steal the ball. And then Nick was a flashy, more like Trey, but just not as good. I don't remember if Nick was really a distributor like that. I don't really remember. I just remember him.
He would be like a 16-4 type of guy, 16-5 type of guy.
Right.
Let me get you his best year, and I'll tell you in a second. Per game. His highest assist in a year, it was 9.
Okay.
But yeah, like it was like 5, 8, 6, 8, 6, 7, 9, 8, 8, 4, 4, 5, 4. So like he was
preferred. He preferred to be a scorer.
Probably around 7. Like I think probably average out about 7.
Was the career say?
Doesn't say career. That's
Where you at? Basketball Reference, or where you at?
I'm at What If Sports. I don't know how I wound up here.
What is that?
I don't know. When I looked him up, like it didn't come up. I was like, "Where is basketball? Where's all the normal stuff?" There it is. It was like super far down.
It's like Penny Hardaway, Nick Van Exel, just a whole database of those kind of players.
Like what? 6.6 for the.
Okay. So yeah, right around 7. So yeah, I mean, he can learn a little bit from him, just in-game experience. But
Freddie Freeman's timing him, by the way, right now. He's thrown him 5 straight changeups, and he's fouled them all off.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's it for the layup, aka the finger roll, aka jelly time, aka points in the paint.
Yeah. What did we say we could push off towards the end?
The Hood Olympics.
Yeah. Marco, you take that one.
Man, this is probably one of the goofiest things I've ever seen in my life. But there's been some cool highlights, like the dude. So basically, for anyone who doesn't know, and I don't know how you don't know, but they basically take crates and they stack them across in a pyramid 5 high. So there's the one in the middle. What happened?
He lined out.
He flied out to the warning track.
Oh, wow.
So another, okay.
5-4 game. We lost. Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, they pretty much make a pyramid out of these crates that you would find in, like for fruit baskets or something. Like, I don't know where they get all these damn crates from, to be quite honest. They're saying that the CIA dropped them off in the hood. to distract and injure young black men. No, but so basically, then the challenge is to walk up them, and there's been a lot of like very gruesome falls initially. Like, it was a lot of like, damn, there's no way that person walked away from that without breaks or tears. And then eventually we saw one dude who walked up and he was rolling the blunt, and he stood on the top one, finished rolling the blunt, came down, and on the last step, he lit it. Then I don't know if y'all saw, there's a guy with a hookah who did the same thing. He also made it. And then the one dude in North Carolina climbed to the top and someone shot him. It was like, what? There's been a lot of crazy stuff, but I've seen about 3 people or 4 people complete it. So
Mark Phillips from RDC World called the dude that rolled the blunt. He was like, he is a true Hood Olympics champion, like gold medalist.
And what's funny is that Mark Phillips has a whole other series of the Hood Olympics, like the instigator. He has there was like 3 of them. The interrogation, the drive-by.
The jumping.
The jumping where the Jamaicans won. They said, "Poop, poop, 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 poop." It's like, oh, they had a lot of poop, 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 poop. So they definitely getting the goal. They were efficient. It's like, he's hilarious. No, but yeah, that's one of the goofiest challenges I've ever seen. I would never partake in that. Would either of y'all partake in such a thing?
I'm too damn injury prone to be doing things like that.
I'm a heavyweight. I don't think them crates will hold me, bro.
Right, you'd fall through the first one. Your foot would just fall through the first one. You'd just be stuck.
Crush. Oh, damn.
But yeah, man, that's about it for that. I mean, that's goofy, and people should stop doing that. It's really, really dangerous and goofy. And I know especially like the women who are taking those falls, like in the heavier people who are older and out of shape. I know they're cracking limbs and splitting ACLs. You said one guy broke an ankle, Micah?
Yeah, bro. He like his leg was in the air and you could see his foot dangling. It was
I do remember that one. You could see it got caught in the thing and he fell, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And but like, nah, what we're gonna start seeing soon is the gifts from the GIFs or whatever, however you pronounce it. The Mortal Kombat, when dude's gonna fall off and they're just gonna you're gonna see the bones break and then
Oh yeah, and then the one with I think it was you said it wasn't a kid, but some kid came and kicked some dude was at the very top one, and some kid came and kicked it.
Yeah,
and he fell.
Yeah,
like that kid would have got whoever that was would have got
come down on top of him as you're falling.
Yeah, you would have. Man, I don't care how much my adrenaline would take. I'm gonna get you.
like, bro, as you're falling, do a Macho Man elbow drop.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Or go fall right into an RKO. I'm like, someone is getting hurt. Like, what kind of stuff? Like, get you. People. It's just unfortunate what people are doing. People are worried about COVID, but these dudes are out here with no regard for their life at all. We wonder what kind of mentality people really have out here. No one has any regard for their lives or anyone else.
Yeah.
I could go viral for this.
Right. Come on, man.
Cool. That does.
I do want to say one more thing to all of our listeners who might be potential college athletes. The Braves are offering anybody an opportunity for the NIL as long as you out there selling them tickets, baby. Moving them tickets.
Tickets, baby. Cha-ching.
Peace. We're out of here.
And if you like fish and grits and all that sports shit, everybody let me hear you say, oh, yay. Oh, yay.